It's space news time. Do you hear that? You hear the bell? It's time for space news. Sorry guys, I couldn't get sub 4. We'll try it another time, okay? You hear the bell? It's time for space news. Just didn't have it. Yeah. You hear that? Wait, one more time.
News! News!
Next time, Pines. Thanks, Steven. Okay. You said you didn't have a team in the match. Yeah, but I found this shirt today, Demon. Oh. I thought it was... Oh, wait. Was it... Did Italy win? Oh, jeez. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Did that happen? What's high score mean? Did I break it? Job Priest, you dig in the Asteroid channel? The Asteroid Day people are cool. I like those guys. Hey, you played the game better. Demon, I don't have a horse in this race. Italy played the game better, alright? And I don't do soccer, okay? Alright. Give me a couple minutes here, guys. We'll get the space news up and running. And we'll go from there. Alright. We'll be back in probably about 5 minutes. Thank you for watching. We got plenty of stream left. Hey, how are you guys doing? Everything good? Bruh. Nah, I don't think so, Lenfrod. I don't think so, bro. I think he's doing the opposite of that, man, to be honest with you. I think he's being sarcastic. Doing fine, pumping some reps with your muscles. Bro, do you even lift? Do you even lift? So, we can start the space news with some comedy here. Let's go. So, what's Marcia Smith saying? Marcia Smith at Space Policy Online is saying, ranking member... So, okay, ranking member Aderholt starts with right off with NASA. He praises the new increases for SLS. This is at a budget meeting, I think. He's saying that they need a cargo version, and they need a multi-year acquisition plan to engage contractors at a full rate of production. Multi-year acquisition plan. Also praises dollars for nuclear thermal propulsion, but complains the language requiring flight demos not included for this year. Do you think they might use the money to approve a second HLS lander? This is a different thing, Pythos, but yes, I do. And what's Eric saying? Go Congress, we actually absolutely need that version of SLS Block 1B because no one else is building super heavy rockets. And we totally need to make sure we pay contractors a decade in advance. It's just smart business. What are you... What do you think? All right. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch that one. Yep. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I mean, generally, you know, just generally, it's not like you can go down to the spaceflight store and buy one ride into space, please. I'll take one ride into space. Generally, you know, spaceflight missions and planning and block buying rockets, for instance, take multiple years. I mean, I don't... It's funny because, you know, guy thinks he's making a joke, but that... Oh, okay. Yeah, let's just have contractors do the work. Maybe they'll get paid at some point down the line. You know that scene in Hot Fuzz where they at the very beginning with Martin Freeman, where they promote Nicholas Angel and he... Yeah, here we go. Just... I don't know what to say. Yes. Yes, thank you. That's me right now. Like, yeah, you're trying to be sarcastic, but that's also, yes, that is how that works. I mean, space. What's that, Vasya? Oh, yeah. All right, we'll check that out in a second. Yeah, here. Actually, you know what? Let's do that now. Okay. So on Sunday, if you missed it, I mean, it was super high profile, but on Sunday, if you missed this, check this out. So Virgin Galactic launched the Unity 22 mission, which is a suborbital spaceflight with Richard Branson on board to evaluate customer experience. Put it that way. Here, let's do this. Watch this. It was awesome. I mean, this was really cool.
3, 2, 1, release.
Fire.
That's one hell of a customer experience.
Welcome to witnesses. You're clear to unstrap.
Oh, that's pretty rad.
Welcome to space.
Yeah, that's
To
pretty
all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do.
Alright, everybody look out the window. Don't miss apogee.
That's cool.
Oh my God.
Be quiet.
Hey, all right.
Woo!
So,
Oh my God.
I looked a little bit more into it. The cast didn't show any of this, and everybody was kind of peeved off that they didn't show it. They were showing other things, right? They didn't have a feed. They didn't have the feed. The feed broke up, so they couldn't get this stuff live. That's why the cast sucks so much. So I mean, the cast was pretty funny. Like, it wasn't funny in a good way though, like family. But but it was still good. This was still awesome. The mission was sick. It's a really cool piece of kit. And I'll say this once, I'll say it again. It takes stones to put yourself on your rocket like that. Talk about product endorsement. You know what I mean? It takes balls to do that. Good for you. That's pretty awesome. Sunglasses in space. It gets bright up there. Well, that doesn't suck.
Oh my God.
That is the RCS firing, guys.
Oh, this is unbelievable. This is too unbelievable.
Sea Last, what's up? So why do pilots have masks but not the passengers? Frick if I know, dude. Jack's got some pictures. Yeah, I mean, there's also what you see on the screen here.
Wow.
Oh, that's freaking cool, man.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah, Buck, that's what... Yeah, there you go.
And please return to your seats and strap in. Approaching re-entry.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Get back up.
There's a lot of windows there, man. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you don't want the pilots to, in case of cabin depress. I mean, they're very, very high up in the air. 280,000 feet in change. That's, what is that, 85 kilometers? It's about a little over 50 miles. That's pretty cool, man. It's a cool piece of tech. I wish the stream would focus a little bit more on the engineering, but it's all right. It's okay. This is cool and all, but what about Khaled's new song?
5,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, release.
Fire.
It's pretty cool. that's pretty legit. Wait, you want to see some engineering? I was watching for the concert. Yeah. That's legit, dude.
Welcome to witnesses. You're clear to unstrap. Welcome to space.
Oh, man. How much time do
To
the
all
passengers...
you kids down there, I was
up there
once
for
a child
5
with
minutes?
a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do.
Fair message. I'd like to add that Richard Branson is 70 years old. Yeah, that's a hell of a thing to push your body through at 70. Just putting it out there.
Everybody look out the window. Don't miss savages.
Oh my God.
Be quiet.
Woo!
Yeah, it's no John
Oh,
Glenn.
my
Yep.
God.
Yep. No, he does a lot of, he works out a lot in Just Space. He rode his bike to the launch site.
Oh, this is unbelievable. This is too unbelievable.
How about yeah, that hasn't happened yet, guys. You know, well, if I was gonna do it at 82, so you know, this is this isn't an achievement at all, right? Like, okay, this is nothing. This is no big deal. Stupid. How stupid of me.
And please return to your seats and strap in. Approaching re-entry. Back up.
Yeah, it's the Apodox. Don't worry about it. It's not an achievement at all. It's not an achievement. It's all good. No, all right. So they did it yesterday. It's pretty cool. Everything went fine. The thing looked perfect. If you're wondering how this thing works, it actually is pretty damn cool. It's using a solid rocket motor, a composite solid rocket motor with nitrous injection. It has nitrous oxide. Yeah. Yeah, you get better performance if you shoot more oxygen into a rocket motor. So, it's a pretty awesome thing there. He's okay, I said. Oh, jeez. Also, the first billionaire in space. Yeah, okay, so, like, I would be remiss if we weren't going to talk about that. So, Jeff Bezos is going to fly on the 20th on the New Shepard NS-16 mission. And it seemed that all of a sudden there was kind of a race between billionaires to get into space. And, you know, that led to, you know, who, like, oh, where does space begin and space end? And, you know, oh, who did it better, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I hate those people. I've decided. Yeah. I don't like that. Just shut up and enjoy it, man. I mean, like, that's kind of where I'm at. Everybody's talking about, like, oh, well, this technically didn't get into space. It's got into space by this definition. This goes here. This goes. Who cares? Who cares? Like, who cares? Just shut up and enjoy it. You know, like, man, people making a big friggin' deal out of this. Cyborg, I've driven out to space before. It takes an hour to get out from Truth or Consequences. I wouldn't want to ride my bike out there. Yeah. It's a hybrid motor, not a rocket motor with extra oxidizer. Just end it. Just human. Just. Oh, God, for the love of God. All right. Yeah. So. I don't care. I really don't care. More rockets is better. I don't care where they go. This one, it certainly looks like space to me. But, I mean, whether you want to make a big deal out of technicalities, like a lot of people in chat, that's fine. Or you just want to enjoy the moment. I'm coming down in favor of just enjoying it. You know, man, there's other things to be upset about, you know? I think the title of astronaut should only be given to people who work in space. Tourists are tourists. And Chris Hadfield disagrees with you. Like, see what I mean? Like, everybody's got to weigh in. Just enjoy it, dude. Like, Chris got to freaking weigh in, man. Like, just enjoy it. Oh, that stream was cringe. It made me so happy. For the wrong reasons, but I don't know, man. I think I'm pretty much done talking about this. Speaking of tourist missions, let's go on to the next thing. Here, check this out. Inspiration 4 team experienced 0G for the first time, flying parabolic arcs on a modified 727. So the Inspiration 4 is a civilian crew that's going to fly on Dragon in a little bit. I forget exactly when Inspiration 4 is going off. Somebody will say, don't worry, somebody will say it in chat. So they got to experience 0G for the first time, and the Inspiration 4 crew is Chris Sambrowski, Haley Archino, Jared Isaacman, who's kind of the guy behind this whole thing, and Dr. Cyan Proctor. They're gonna fly a little later this year. Thanks, Thomas. Yeah, Haley is enjoying it. I think Haley's enjoying it. Jared Isaacman buys fighter jets for fun. Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. I like Jared. Jared's cool. He's pretty cool dude. Is that the vomit comment? Something like it, Audrey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Block more people in here. Why? Who cares, Pythos? Why you? That's the thing, man. That's the flip side of saying just enjoy it. I guess if people want to weigh in, it's the internet, man. People ain't gonna stop them. But you shouldn't let that bother you. Who cares? All right. Jared is quite active on Bird app. Yes. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. What else do we got here? We got to go there. I'm going to move that news there, and I'm going to move that news there. I'll save that one for later. Okay, cool. Here, check this out. So, Blue Origin, who is going to fly the NS-16 mission on the 20th, posted this today. Here, let's see what we got. New Shepard go for launch on July 20th. The NS first human spaceflight. This is the 16th flight and the first one with astronauts on board. Watch BlueOrigin.com live. Watch at BlueOrigin.com live. Coverage starts at 6:30 a.m. Central Time on the 20th. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that? What are the odds of this, man? No, the second I change my day off schedule is the second rocket launches will start happening on Mondays or Saturdays or whenever. Like, why did you pick Tuesday? Long time ago when I first went full-time, I worked 2 jobs. And on Tuesdays, I would go stock shelves at a grocery store. Or, well, I did that for a little while, and then I still worked on the loading dock for a little while after. This was like 5 years ago, and I just left it that way. So, you've been working on that truck? Well, I think I might put the truck stream on Monday. Do the truck stream on Monday and then just do a regular stream on Tuesday with the launch coverage. I think that would be a better way to do this. But, yeah, well, as we get closer to it, I'll figure it out. I'm going to be gone Friday and Saturday this week, so 16, 17. I'm gone. Just, yeah, more vacation. Oh, boy. Where the heck are you going? I got roped into doing family stuff. Do you have merch? Sure. Exclamation point merch. This is too much vacation. I freaking can't stand it. Don't say it like that. What if they're watching? What are you talking about? Who? Anyway, this is stuff for my family, not yours. What are you talking about? Vremo, we're not married. Not my family yet. What are you talking like? Whatever. We'll talk about that later. Try being unemployed. No thanks. Anyway, so here, let's check out what Blue Origin's up to. I think this is footage from the NS-16 mission. Yeah, or NS-15, excuse me. Nice. Cool. If you need my couch for a week, I got you. I don't. I'll be on vacation, remember? Oh boy, all this vacation time. It's great. So, yeah. Steven, you got to work with a 5-axis CNC machine with a robotic arm material feeder today. That's cool. Does the feather mean that they do a Dave Scott experiment with New Shepard and the feather? No, that's just their logo. See, Bezos has a rocket that can land at the pad, but Elon makes it look good. Okay. Sure. Dude, the merch is kind of dope. I like it. I only have one shirt, dude. Should probably get more. Should probably do more of that. Anyway. What else do we got? So this next couple of things are coming from Northrop Grumman here. Check this out.
Every Northrop Grumman mission to deliver cargo to the International Space Station is named in honor of a human spaceflight pioneer. I am proud to announce that the NG-16 Cygnus spacecraft will be named in honor of Ellison Onizuka, the first Asian American astronaut to reach space.
So the next Cygnus capsule that goes up to the ISS, NG-16, is going to be named after Ellison Onizuka, a NASA astronaut during the early shuttle program. Have you seen the stuff about the new Block 2 SRM? It's the next article. 2 things from Northrop Grumman, bro. Yep. You just know that whatever altitude the Blue Origin reaches, Jeff will call it the Bezos line. Yeah, that's right, Thomas. Yep. All right, we got 2 more Russian things. I'm saving that article for last because it's a Sloss article from NSF, so it's going to take a second. Oh yeah, there's also, I didn't get to this part here. Couple of things coming over from the Ruskies. Yeah, Core. I haven't checked the missions in a little while that are going on Artemis 1, but I know a couple of those other the secondary missions that are flying on SLS are really good. Last, okay. Did he lose his life on Challenger, or am I missing something? Yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to talk about that, but yeah. Yeah, he was on STS-51L. That's about it. Sucks. You read it at work this afternoon. Cool. All right, check this out. So this one's coming from Rogozin. I think this is talking about, all the suborbital flights that are happening. Rogozin, we agree with the assertion of a number of experts that suborbital flight has nothing to do with professional astronautics, but nevertheless, it is a landmark event in terms of both the development of technology and the expansion of humanity's ability to look at our planet from space. That's probably the best take out of anybody that I've heard about this. How else would we know if you don't talk about it? I didn't know, for example. Because I don't want to celebrate someone's life, by talking about their death. You know what I mean? It seems kind of taboo. Yeah, Vasia, I pretty much 100% agree with Dimitri right there. That's perfect. That's what I was basically saying. Like, I mean, I enjoy it. It's cool. It's freaking awesome, man. I don't care if it doesn't get to space. Who cares? It's freaking cool. The next tweet is even better. What is he saying? I hope that someday billionaires will start spending their money not on regular yachts and Vanity Fairs, but on the development of space technologies and knowledge about space. Ooh. Man, some of the things that Dimitri says are just... Alright. Other things, though. It's very smart. No, I'm gonna take the yacht, just saying. I mean, Dish, why not a space yacht? Yeah, see, Vasia, you get it. Yeah, see? Great minds, man. Practicality, my man. But the boat is already going to cost you money. Why not just make it a spaceship? I'm saying actually launch the yacht into space. Duh. Hey, it's not going to rust. It won't rust up there. You don't have to worry about it leaking. See? 5-head, man. No, Dimitri's talking about... Kem, Vasa, you guys correct me if I'm wrong here. I think he's talking about, like, in Russia. Starship could be converted into a space yacht. Yeah, he's talking about in Russia. Mm-hmm. One of the oligarchs he's talking about. Roman Abramovich. Net worth is $15 billion. Bro. $67, $87, G650. Hey, he's got good taste in airplanes, man. All right, guys got good taste in airplanes, if I do say so myself. These guys got really good taste in airplanes. I mean, you can't fault the guy, bro. G650, 787 business jet, 767 private jet? Like, yo. That, you got good taste in airplanes, man. Bad taste in soccer teams, though. Oh, savage. These yachts, though, man. Holy crap, those are nice. Dish, I see what you're saying. Oh, man. Yo, that thing is sick, dude. Alright, alright. Alright, I get it. I get it. That's pretty friggin' cool. That's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty rad. Look up Yacht AM, alright? Oh, that's slick. That is slick. Slick. Just A. That was a typo. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't do. That sailboat. Sailboat. Not that one. What the frick is this? What is this? What is that? Oh. Oh, man, I kind of want that. Oh, that's cool. God damn it. It looks like a little Zumwalt. Oh, what? God damn it, Dish. Why do I want this? That's friggin' cool. All right, okay, I get it. I get it. That's cool, all right? That's pretty legit. I still want a spaceship. I still want a spaceship, but that is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool ship. I'll admit it. That's pretty rad. I mean, expensive, but rad. The guy's got a garage in the side of his ship. There's a friggin' garage. Imagine that flying around on Venus. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in. No, those are nice pythos. Yeah, it's got a friggin' garage in it. That's pretty cool. The Motor Yacht A, MYA, is a super yacht designed by Philippe Stark. Good name. It was built by Blum and Voss shipyard at the HDW Deepwater facility in Kiel. Wow, dude, okay, that's freaking cool. Oh, the garage is two sides. It's a two-sided garage. You could drive cars through it. Oh, all right, that's pretty rad. Wait, no helicopter pad? Oh no, there's one right there. It's built. Oh, that's legit. Signed the check already? It's cool. I don't need it, but it's cool. I'm good. You could start an I mean, what's the price of it? Do I want to know? Do I want? Let's take a look. Blum and Voss is also making U-boats. Yeah, I know, Kimmer, I know. Okay, so it costs $300 million. You need the second smaller yacht that supports the main one for the helicopter pad? Isn't that just DLC for rich people? It's nice. I mean, Dish, I dig it. What's it got under the hood? A is powered by two MAN RK280 diesel engines providing approximately 9,000 kilowatts, 12,000 horsepower, sufficient to give the yacht a maximum speed of 23 knots. Wow, that's pretty fast, man. At cruising speed of 19 knots, she can travel a maximum of 6,500 nautical miles in under 16 days using 750,000 liters or 160,000 gallons, or imperial gallons, 200,000 US gallons before the fuel tanks are out. Impressive range. I dig it. I dig it. I don't really want it. I still don't want it, but I dig it. It's cool. That one looks like a frigate. Oh, that's sick. I like that. So you want this then? Eh. It has a helicopter pad on the front, guys. It's just built into to look like part of the hull, which is pretty cool. You wanted it before you saw the price tag. I mean, boo, we're talking relative here. So if I'm a billionaire, a $300 million yacht's not that big of a deal. If you're a billionaire, that's not... You got to think about it contextually. I mean, for 300 million, I'd rather... 300 million. Elon Musk started SpaceX for less money than that. I mean, Kem, with these tweets here from Dimitri, going back to it, right? Like, that's a pretty dope tweet. But the reason why we could do this is because there's incentives too. You know what I mean? Like we incentivize commercial and private endeavors in this, like with commercial crew and stuff. You know, I'm not sure if that's something that can exist over there. I'm not. I mean, you tell me. He's interested in collecting all yachts not going to space. Yeah. You have to incentivize these people to do it. That's how we get people to do stuff over here. You know, people with cash. You gotta sweeten the pot a little bit. I like the trimaran. That's cool, boo. But either way, some pretty good tweets from Dimitri. Pretty good take there. Jeff Bezos' yacht. It's nice. I mean, Dish, it's just, I don't know. Every billionaire has a yacht, you know, like... I'd do something different if I had that much money. I don't know what I'd do. Maybe... I don't know. $1 billion? Yeah, start a spaceflight company is probably what I'd do. I'd fail. I know I'd fail. I wouldn't get very far. I just don't think I'm smart enough to be able to deal with $1 billion. Or I guess a better way to put it would be like I'm not experienced enough to do it, you know? I can manage what my paycheck is. I can't manage what my paycheck times $1 billion is. You know what I mean? Those are made up numbers. I swear if this thing says for your yacht fund. Check this ship out, it'll blow your mind, okay? That's cool. That is cool. I do like it. I appreciate the engineering. That's really awesome. And does Elon? I mean, Elon didn't just become a billionaire. He worked his way up. I do like that. That's really cool. Yo. Is this person playing GTA 5 in real life? Look at this. Elon prefers Marmac oil rigs. Thing about a yacht is that you could just go wherever you want, whenever you want. Need to get away from the stupidity for a while, hit the sea. Yeah, that's true. True story. I mean, we did the math out, Dish, one time. You can go and buy... We did the math out one time. Why the heck would you want, like, I mean, I guess you could get a space yacht, like, I guess, like, or not a space yacht. You could get a regular yacht, but why would you do that? You know, like, I don't think, like, people have done that. That's boring. That's boring to me. You know what I want? You know what I want? If I had $1 billion, forget space yachts. Flying yachts, dude. Flying yachts. Yeah, we did the math out one time. 300 million? You could operate this. You could fly anywhere you want in the world. Anywhere. You could take all your stuff with you. And it's faster. With an ocean-going yacht, you get to enjoy the trip. Yeah, I can understand that. Not my style, but I can appreciate that. Cheers to that. Put a garage in there. Yeah, see, Tree. Yeah, you get it, dude. Yeah. I tell you what I'd do, Jeep guy. To launch 2 planes at the same time. You think you wouldn't enjoy a private jet? No, Pulse, that would be my private jet. 747s are not that hard to operate. Well, that's going to get taken out of context. It's not a stretch from like a G650 to a 747. They've made tons of them. There's parts everywhere. You can keep one maintained. We crunched the numbers one time on stream of how much you could operate at a complete loss with a 747 cargo, with aircraft mechanic, with pilots on salary, and a hangar for like 50 years. With like $300 million. You can make it last that long. No problem. Materialism. Is it though? I mean, Obama, if you had $300 million, what are you going to do? Well, I mean, come on. You can't sit here and say, oh, materialism in the same thing. If you had $300 million, what would you do with it? Don't say give it to charity or feed hungry people. Don't lie. Don't lie. Come on. What would you do? Come on. What revs the engine? Come on. Start an asteroid mining company? I like that one, Entropy. Yeah. Never work again? I would run out of things to do. I have to do something. Buy the next seat on Dragon. Good answer. Could you enjoy this from a 747? I mean, from 30,000 feet, I could look down at it, I guess. You say that, but I'd be setting up a 501c3 to help feral animals, okay? Buy half the Train Simulator DLC. That's the best answer. That's the best answer, man. Lobby politicians for financial gain? Oh. That's too real. Too real, Knight. Too real, dude. too real, man. Buy the next Starship launch after Deer Moon. Yeah. The heck with buy the Starship launch. Just buy the Starship. And just pay SpaceX to operate it for you. And now you have a Starship. Now you can go into space. Like, see, like, you know, you say materialism, that's fine. But also at the same time, come on. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Dish, I have no delusions about this. I have $300 million. I'm starting an aerospace company, and then I want to buy one of these. I'll buy one of those, dude. You know, we can go on road trips. You go on road trips. Drive your car to your 747, and then, I want to go to the Grand Canyon. Okay, we'll be there in 4 hours. Ba-boo! Then go drive your car around the Grand Canyon. Go back, put it in the 747, fly home. It'd be a little weekend excursion. You can't say that wouldn't be fun. That would be amazing. It would be awesome. Buy a lunar base? Not... Need more money than that. 911 RSR. See, that's what I mean. You can't... This is materialism. Alright, whatever. Build your own city on the moon. Yeah. It's basically a John Travolta lifestyle. Yeah, something like that. Can I please pick you up? No, it's a yacht for you. A private island to sail it to. You could buy Haas and boot. Okay, Pulse, new plan. Buy Haas, right? And then make the livery say Spinala on it. I like that plan. That's a good one. That's a good one. Anyway. Okay, let's go. We got a little bit more Russian news here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Only on a certain driver's car. I don't know what you're talking about. Commissioned the design of a fully electric supercar. Buy the Mercedes F1 team, sell the drivers, and hire massive. Live in a defunct missile silo. Good call, Pharaoh. Hey, Titan 2 missile silos come up on the market every once in a while. I'm more of a Titan 1 missile silo kind of guy. If we're talking about the decommissioned missile base that meets my needs. I would buy a plot of land around a Titan 1 missile silo complex and put a runway next to it. You know why? Because Titan 1 silo complexes are 3 missile silos, not just one like the Titan 2. Check this out. They're 3 silos, which is pretty rad. You have 1, 2, and 3. It's a pad A, B, and C. It's a 3-pad launch complex. Now, what would I do with the silos? I don't know. But this thing is built like a vault from Fallout 4. You have a generator room, and then you have living quarters and stuff. These domes right here, right? The domes right here, and the powerhouse, and then air filtration systems, the service elevator, the entrance, all this stuff, right? These are called access portals, right? In bunker design. All this stuff here, dude, you live in your own friggin' vault. You live in your own friggin' vault. These domes here are friggin' gigantic. You could fit like a hockey rink inside of them. It would be amazing. I'd put a shop in one of them and then live in another, dude. But who would ask you to help out all the settlements? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about this that much. Dude, look at this thing. Look at that, man. You'd be friggin' legit. I play hockey, so you could put a hockey rink in there. Too bad you're on a shooting list during a thermonuclear war. You're in a bunker. Play Fallout Shelter in real life? Oh, gosh. Underground streaming complex. Oh, yeah. That'd be pretty sick. I do live in a vault. It's called my crippling depression. Oh, that's a little real. All right. Just buy a Falcon 9 booster and put it in there. That'd be pretty cool. Titan, you know what? Just, okay. Bringing it back to rockets. Titan 1 missile silos are weird, dude. You know why? Because, I mean, that's a Titan 2, so... Titan 2s launch directly out of their silo. They have a flame trench built into the bottom, and the flame trench has ducts that go up the sides, and they go out the top. So when a Titan 2 lights, the flames come out the sides here, and then the missile goes out, right? Titan 1s, they hadn't really figured out how to do that right just yet. So the Titan 1 actually elevates up out of the tube, and then it launches. So hang on. Let me find a good picture. Let's look at that one. So the Titan 1 launch table is on a huge elevator, and it lifts the missile up out of the silo, and at the bottom of the elevator thing, there's a flame deflector, so the missile comes out and then launches. And then they figured out, why don't I just put it in the tube and just put a flame trench down here? That's one of the differences between Titan 1 and 2. Yeah, see, you already got your elevators in there, Wookiee. Just turn it into a freaking garage. Take the launch table off, right? And then you turn it into a freight elevator. See? It lifts the missile out. And you could, I mean, it's basically a vault. The tunnels inside of those things they're ridiculous. They're gigantic, guys. Here, look. This is inside of one of the... This picture's inside of one of the generator rooms. It's a huge dome. It's freaking gigantic. And if you take out all this trash here, well, not the trash, the infrastructure from the generators and stuff, man, yeah, it's awesome. So like, if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna buy a Titan 1 missile complex, right? Restore the damn thing to an extent, and then put a runway on the top. And then a racetrack probably around that. I figure I could hook that up if we had $1 billion. Yeah, dude, I figure I could hook that up. Buy a house and build your own tunnels? No, hell no, Brim. Tunneling is expensive, dude. Tunneling's super expensive. To the hell with that. No. Buy something that already has the tunnels dug. No way. But Colin Furs, yeah, you see how long it took him? See how freaking long? Hell no. Nah, I'm good. Would you share the runway with the racetrack for a long straight? Top Gear test track style, Napfron. 2 birds with 1 stone, man. Oh, also, this... Crank the HDRI, man. Yeah, Drill Bucket. Mm-hmm. See? I mean, it makes sense. Can I get an aircraft carrier for $1 billion? No, they're too expensive. Okay, what if you just buy the AJ260 silo? Let's see. I mean, I think that's just a hole in the ground, but... Oh. Hey, look. There's my truck. Nice. I don't need an aircraft carrier. Nah, that's meh. I just thought of this. Where does the blast of an ICBM go on the initial launch while still in the silo? The flame trenches. The flame trenches at the bottom go 180 degrees and then go back up, out the sides of the silo. Or they just go up the silo. Titan 2's... Titan has a... Here. Let me find a picture. That picture's potato. Alright, here. Look, the Titan 2 silos have a deflector at the bottom. See the flame deflector? And the flames go 180 degrees and they go in a duct up out the sides. So when a Titan launches, you see flames come up the top and then the missile pops out. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, here, let's see.
78 marks the 15th anniversary of Titan II's operational readiness. Standing 103 feet tall with a 10-foot diameter and weighing...
See the flame trenches? They go up and out to the sides to blow the blast away from the rocket. And then the silo actually is 2 concentric circles. There's the outer diameter of the silo, and then there's the inner diameter of the silo. The outer diameter is where the ducts are, and then there's an access area, and then there's the inner diameter. It's like 2 silos built inside of each other.
150 tons, Titan II can be up and out of the silo in less than a minute after receipt of launch command.
Heaviest
hurling its
ICBM
payload
we've
at
ever made.
speeds of 15,000 miles per hour, nearly halfway around the world. Titan II was developed under the management of the Air Force Ballistic Systems Division.
Cool. Yeah, let's see if they... Yep, there they... See, this is the inner... that's the inner diameter of the silo, and that's where all the access gantries are. Nice Ford. Alright. Yeah, here. Let's see. See, there's the flame duct right there. There's 2 of them on either side. See that? It's also where you definitely don't want to drop a wrench. Yep. So if you build a runway, would it be commercial airport or shuttle length? I don't know why I need shuttle length, Savvy, so 9,000 feet should be sufficient. Titan 1 silo, Titan 1 complexes are gigantic. And then yes, I would do vlogs from there because nobody else is doing a vlog about restoring a missile silo. Just like when Cletus did the racetrack restoration. Yep, nobody else can do that. 300 million, we can, Savvy, 300 million, we can make this work. How worried should we be with the current state of our silos? The fact that it seems to be mentioned in the background by Washington. They're constantly upgrading them, Hando. I wouldn't be worried. Sick. Not the missile part. I don't like the missile part. See, and they put baffles in the flame trench to deflect it up and out. 300 could get you another Tilke drone. Screw that. Demon, I just literally buy a Titan 1 missile silo and put the Dunsfold Aerodrome's airport layout on top of that, so we have a Top Gear test track. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if we're gonna talk about, you know, splurging on things, that's what I'd do. Don't ask me why I've put thought into this. It's pretty stupid. Anyway, let's keep going. So, Katya Pavlichenko has a tweet here. Here's a small but very nice interview with Yusaku Meizawa given to RIA Novosti. You can learn about his training for the Soyuz MS-20 flight. Yeah, the guy that Yusaku wants to fly on Deer Moon. He bought a seat on Soyuz because he wanted to go to space quicker. Don't get me wrong, he's still investing in Deer Moon. Vaza, this may be really dumb, but what's the difference between a rocket and a missile? Well, a rocket usually puts things into space. A missile comes back down and blows things up. God. Freaking. All right. All right. There is one. I know this channel, the Atomic Underground. Yeah, I know Atomic Underground and yeah, all the other ones. That restoration is pretty cool, but nobody's restoring a Titan 1 complex and turning it into a racetrack. Nobody's doing that. Atomic Underground's a good channel though. Could we put Gemini Titan into a silo? Sure, why not? Yeah, of course you could, human. And you could launch people from it if you really wanted to. I mean, I don't know why you'd do that, but you'd need a Gemini capsule that still works. I wouldn't do that. Excellent short description of the rocket missile difference. We'll remember it. Thanks from Germany. No problem. Missiles come down and hurt people. Rockets do not. Alright. What's the next thing? Alright, here. Here we go. I have the Blue Origin news. Novus, thank you. So we're not going to read the interview? I mean, we could, but there's a... Alright. What time is it? Okay. Here, let's go take a look. Can Saturn V fit into a missile silo? What? Do you think they'd ever release footage of people inside a capsule when it's being launched? Goose, the Russians, every time they launch somebody on Soyuz, show live views inside of the capsule during launch. It happens every time. What? This. SpaceX hasn't showed Dragon yet. They showed Bob and Doug inside the capsule on the way up into space. Of course they did. Oh, I never knew this. Sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's plenty of footage inside of the shuttles. Yeah, Dish is right. Absolutely. All right, here. Let's read the interview. So, this is a Russian news here, Novosti. All right, let's see. It's an interview with Yusaku Meizawa. When did you decide to go into space? I've always wondered what space actually looks like, so I decided to go and find out. Okay. You're going to fly around the moon on Elon Musk's, on Starship. Why do you also need a flight to the ISS aboard Soyuz? My mission to the ISS will be very useful in terms of preparation for the lunar flight for 2023. After the flight to the ISS, I am confident that I will know what to expect from space and will be a more prepared participant in the trip to the moon. There is very little time before your flight in December. Will the training program be curtailed somehow? I believe in the Russian space program, and they will have the time to prepare me for the flight. I will be a diligent student, okay? Will you study Russian? Yes, I will also study Russian during my preparation. I study English and Russian to communicate with astronauts and cosmonauts, okay? You meant from launch from the pad. Oh, yeah, they've done that with the shuttle, Goose. Yeah, the STS-135 footage was all the way up. There's plenty of footage from the shuttle. I'm not sure if that counts. They generally don't show it because it's pretty violent. Not that it's going to mess up the astronauts or anything. I just don't think they're really focused on that per se. I guess. I don't know. I mean, we had it with the shuttle, I guess. You paid for the... Okay, you also paid for the flight for your assistant, Yozo Hirano. Why can't you do without him in space? Flying as an astronaut is a unique opportunity, and I plan to show my daily life on the ISS on Yusaku Meizawa's YouTube channel under the heading, What is Space Really Like? Yozo Hirano will come with me as an assistant producer. Tell us about your program. Are you going to conduct any experiments or advertising projects? We launched a website for accepting proposals within the project. 100 things you want Yusaku Meizawa to do in space. We already have received over 7,000 offers from around the world. We'll check the feasibility of their implementation to see what can be done. Okay. What will you take with you into space? Personal belongings, photographs, souvenirs, devices of some kind. We're still deciding what to take, but for sure, we're going to take a camera for filming for YouTube. Are you going to cook Japanese food on orbit? Yes, and I would like to share them with the rest of the crew. Oh, nice. Pokepad is clear, okay? Yeah, I know, luckiest assistant in the world. It's like the UX designer, Pulse, the user experience designer for Virgin Galactic got to fly on the first flight to evaluate the user experience of being launched into space. That's probably the coolest UX job ever. That's pretty cool. Astronauts often take musical experiments with them to the station. You know that music is very close to you. Will you be performing there? Yes, I would like to try if I have the opportunity. In the rocket and space community, flights of space tourists are often criticized because they take up time and opportunity to fly from professional astronauts. I am sincerely grateful for the challenge to fly that I got, despite the fact that flight capabilities are still very limited. Okay. Have you already met with Alexander Misurkin, who will be the commander of the MS-20 spacecraft? How much did he teach you? I met him as soon as I started planning for the flight. I'm very glad that he will be our commander, and I want to go through the entire preparation process and the flight itself with him. The Russian Cosmonaut Corps is vaccinated against coronavirus. American and European astronauts also have received their vaccines. Have you? Yes. Okay. You often hold charity events and just give money to those in need. Why did you decide to spend a certain amount on a flight into space and not give it away? When you give out money, it can help people in their lives, but money cannot be the only part of life. I hope this mission, in which an ordinary civilian like me is sent into space, can give people dream and hope. All right. Happy trails, man. Sounds like fun. All right. So, let's see what we got here. We have something coming from Maxer. So Maxer completes power and propulsion element preliminary design review. So the power and propulsion element, which makes up the back part of the core module for Gateway, for NASA's Gateway, has completed its PDR. That couples with a contract that NASA awarded from Appendix N of the Next Step 2 Broad Agency announcement, which basically pays out money to get these Gateway components set up and launched by the end of 2024. The power and propulsion element is based off of a geostationary communication satellite, but it's modified. It's modified in such a way to be able to basically be a core node for a space station. So instead of like communications equipment up at the front of the satellite, they have a docking port, right? And the docking port will be coupled to the Habitation and Logistics Outpost, or the HALO module. Master Chief. And they will be, the PPE and the HALO module will be joined together and launched on a Falcon Heavy in late 2024 to get out to Gateway. Gateway, if you're wondering what that is it's a space station laboratory / spaceship, I guess, floating around the moon to help us understand how to work in deep space for long periods of time, as opposed to the ISS, which is close. It's kind of a camp that's a little further away. Hey, drummer, what's going on? No, he's going there. It's to promote his YouTube channel. It's one hell of a promo. Watch the video get demonetized. Oh my god. Alright. So, next bit here. Alright. So, this is coming from NASA Spaceflight. It's a Phil Sloss article about...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
About SLS. So, Northrop Grumman is designing the new BOLE SRB for SLS Block 2. Hey, Woo. 14-month resub. He showed the Nürburgring from space, no monetization. All right. NASA Space Launch System Program and Booster Element Prime Contractor Northrop Grumman are developing an upgrade to the current solid rocket boosters. The SLS Booster Obsolescence and Life Extension Program is in the detailed design phase prior to firing its first ground test development motor in 2024. Followed by a preliminary design review for boosters that will inaugurate the SLS Block 2 vehicle. Okay. They are, Pigzig. I hadn't heard anything about the Block 2 vehicle even being on the books until now. Maybe there's something... well, it's obviously something that I missed here. Let's read. The new solid rocket motor design retains the form and fit of the current motor, but incorporates modern production technology, composite cases, and a new solid propellant formula. SLS and Northrop Grumman are working... NASA and Northrop Grumman are working to integrate the new design with the SLS vehicle and increase performance to the congressionally mandated levels while minimizing impacts to the design and operations of other flight hardware and launch processing infrastructure. BOLE upgrades and BOLE upgrade replaces current booster originally designed for Ares 1. The BOLE program is a joint effort between NASA and Northrop Grumman to develop a new solid rocket booster design with modern production and manufacturing processes. The new design is intended to replace the current SLS boosters that are based on a 5-segment solid rocket motor design, the RSRMV. It's an evolution of the Space Shuttle redesigned reusable solid rocket motor and was originally designated to be the first stage of the Ares 1 crew launch vehicle for the Constellation program. After Constellation was canceled, the motor was adapted from its single-stick first-stage application for Ares 1 to the dual boosters that flank the core stage for SLS. The current booster uses shuttle flight hardware and technologies that are becoming obsolete. SLS is an expendable launch vehicle, so in addition to the technology obsolescence, the launches will consume the remaining inventory of shuttle SRB flight hardware. When the shuttle program came to an end, it was decided as the SLS program was starting to ramp up that the project would save enough after to give us 8 flight sets of the large structural hardware, case segments, and that sort of thing. Okay? And do other things, yep. I'm going to open that in a separate tab. We'll check that out in a moment. We also knew that at the end of those flights, we would need a follow-on program that would give us a booster with a minimum of the same capability, but we may as well take advantage of the technological advances that have taken place in rocketry over the last 30 years to be able to give us a safer, more robust, more capable booster. NASA is developing 2 major upgrades to the initial operating capability provided by the Block 1 configuration. The Block 1 vehicle combines 2 RSRMV-based SRBs and a liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen core stage with United Launch Alliance's Delta IV Heavy second stage as an essentially off-the-shelf in-space stage called the ICPS, Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage. First upgrade that would be phased in is Block 1B, the SLS, which replaces the ICPS with an in-house exploration upper stage that is, like BOLE, tailored to SLS. EUS is currently planned to begin flying on the 4th SLS launch, adding that the BOLE boosters to the Block 1B vehicle is now viewed as a Block 2 configuration. An advanced booster competition was part of the initial development roadmap during the first few years of the SLS program, but was set aside in part due to the budget constraints at the time. The new BOLE motor segment is designed to better integrate with SLS Block 1B and at the same time to increase the overall vehicle performance. Your screen. Did it fall down? Nice. Immersion is ruined. It was the yawns, man. It was the yawns, man. Alright. I gotta fix this. You need to clean up your mess. Yep. It was all fake. I'll be back in a second. Ah, boy. Technical difficulties. Be right back. I fixed it. It took a little bit. It took some of the drywall out. That is a cover of Chug Jug from the YouTube channel Real Selly G. I linked it up in chat, Hank. All right. Yeah, subscribe to that guy's channel. It's really, really funny, actually. It's a really good YouTube channel. All right. What did I miss? The green screen fell mid-space news. I had to... Shaka, when the green screen fell. Can you play chords on the automaton? What? Screwed up.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
I don't know. Groundman is currently underway at Boca. Neat. Is killing chickens on stream legal? Yeah, I will. No, doing a cover of that is. I will make it lethal. Alright. Let's get back to it, okay? Alright. Get back to it. Someone shoot this poor animal. That's some weird way to talk about yourself, goalie. Got him. Welcome to the jungle, won't you bring it to you? Knees, knees. Alright. New release, check these out. Okay, this is now pizza news, because of Italy. Goalie, what's your message say? Here's money. Maybe you can get to virgin levels of stream someday. Yeah. Maybe you could too. Oh wait, you don't stream. Easy to say that from the peanut gallery, fool. Space is now virgin territory. I'm gonna get back to the article now. Okay, so where was I? God, that was the best. I don't want to take all your viewers. Yeah, believe me, you won't. We're having radio problems because it's a long way to travel. My face. It hurts. Hey, you know what, Fistus? A lot of people were talking about it, dude. Brio and I went to a block party. After that, right? I didn't sleep. Like, that didn't happen. We went to a block party after that, and I just went and wore my SLS shirt, and people were like, "Oh, Richard Branson!" Like, that's all people would talk to me about. I'm like, that okay. Yeah, everybody knew. I'm like, huh. I guess they know their audience, dude. You know, a lot of people said at the end of the cast when I'm sitting there going, they're like, oh, that wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. I'm like, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You're right, it wasn't. Hello, not so orange man. Ciao, Sushio, ¿cómo está? Yeah, no, you're right. It wasn't for me. Alright. How do you feel about him not really going to space? Tuning, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I really don't. You know, oh, he didn't get his space, he didn't do that. I don't care. It's cool, and it's getting people involved with space, so I don't really give a crap, dude. It's like, oh, it's like saying, oh, you only built a dragster that goes 10.9 seconds. Real dragsters go 10 seconds. Just shut the hell up. Just the hell with those people, man. Those people are the kind of people, you know, that would go on like a 30-minute tirade if you give them a free lunch about how no lunch is free. Oh, well, it's not free. It's not free. No lunch is free because I understand the basic exchange of goods. It's like that. Shut up and enjoy your goddamn food, please. Just shut the fuck up. You know? Anyway. Real cars are made with family. I understand the basic exchange of goods. So this free lunch wasn't free. It's just shut up. We know. Oh, you built a Ford? Maybe you should have gone with a real truck. I mean, while we're on the subject of talking about douchebag comments, Goalie, I mean, there you go. That one probably takes the most cake right there. Family. Want a free lunch? Well, what? No lunch is free. Like, shut up. Just shut up. I don't know, Swishio. I don't know that for sure. Some people reported that, but I have no idea. He was there, though, so who knows? Anyway, let's get back to this. So these BOLE boosters are derived from Omega. They're carbon composite motors that Northrop Grumman used for the Omega launch vehicle. The Omega launch vehicle, or let's just type Omega rocket, is a canceled program that was Northrop Grumman's entry into or their attempt to enter national security launches. What they were going to do is basically use the 5 segments, right? Okay, let's go over here. I don't know why it made a new tab and a new window, but hey, you know, that works too. They were going to use, instead of a 5-segment booster, they were going to use a 2-segment booster with a single segment on top of that, right? And they were going to make a carrier launch vehicle with some type of RL-10 upper stage that looks like a DCSS, but it's not. It looks like a Delta IV upper stage, but it isn't. And they were going to use this for national security payloads, and then the Air Force didn't pick them, so it didn't happen. They canceled the program. Omega isn't back, Goalie. No, they canceled the program. If you type in Omega rocket, the first thing that pops up is how they canceled the program after they didn't get an NSSL contract. The companies that did get an NSSL contract were SpaceX and ULA. So they canceled the program, and then Charles Precourt, in a press interview after, Charles Precourt, the astronaut who works for Northrop Grumman, said that you know, people said, oh, okay, what are you going to do with these SRBs that you tested? And he goes, well, we're targeting the booster obsolescence program. This technology will find its way into other Northrop Grumman innovations. This is what he meant. Basically, the Air Force paid Northrop Grumman to design segmented carbon composite boosters. And then Northrop Grumman basically said, all right, fine. They paid him to do it, and then they didn't pay him for a launch vehicle, right? And then now they're just going to use it for SLS. So this could feed into an advanced SLS booster design, which is cool. The advanced SLS booster is Block 2, basically. The first upgrade... All right, where was I? Yeah, here. This stuff over here. We've seen Block 2 on the books before. This thing right here. But they just kind of have a placeholder booster, right? It'll look something like this, but the SLS program was designed from the start to use not only the shuttle motors, but the shuttle's SRBs as well in a 5-segment configuration. Development of that 5-segment booster was originally supposed to be used on Ares 1, the canceled Constellation crew vehicle. And I might add, just kind of as an additional footnote, that part of the reason why SLS is so damn expensive and why it started with a Delta IV upper stage instead of a big upper stage from the start is because those technologies were supposed to be developed during the Ares 1 program in the form of the J2X upper stage and a 5-segment booster first stage. They were supposed to be developed under Ares 1 in the early part of the 20-teens, right? And then 2015, 2016, they would have used that technology that was developed for advanced versions of Ares 1 on Ares 5. What happened in reality is we ended up developing the first stage of Ares 1, the 5 segments for SLS, and now we're carrying... SLS never got a good upper stage from the start. So, yeah, there's that. How useful are these boosters? Well, carbon composite boosters on SLS will increase its throw. It'll have more C3 that way. Not necessarily. Well, not more C3. More payload capacity is the right way to say it, because the boosters are lighter because they're made out of carbon. Booster 3 is being filled with liquid nitrogen. They'll probably be painted like the Ares 1, or not Ares 1 Savvy, like the Omega boosters were. I can get you a picture of what those boosters, the BOLE competition, probably would look like. Here. This is what it'll look like, most likely. Those are the carbon composite boosters. I'd like to add that these are already made. Northrop Grumman already paid. They already did the research and development. The Air Force paid them to do it. There's the carbon SRBs right there. Now the older boosters that are the leftover ones from the shuttle program, those are made out of steel. They're steel boosters. Man, if this thing found its way into the shuttle program, man, that would have increased the shuttle's payload capacity even more. Yeah, I got it, Chris. Yeah, see? Look, carbon composite. That's the top segment of the booster. Forward SRB segment is what it's called. There it is. So this is a 2-segment booster right here with 2 mass simulators in front of it. But yeah, that's what they would look like. They're cool boosters. It's a really cool tech. And once again, this will increase SLS's payload capacity because these boosters are lighter. What do I always say? The less rocket you can put on your rocket and the more fuel you can put on your rocket means that you have more space for payload. Further your rocket will go. Or the more space for payload. It's either one or the other. You can either increase payload mass and decrease range, or decrease payload mass and increase range. You know? Range meaning meters a second delta V. Spacecraft range is not measured in distance. It's measured in acceleration. It's how fast you can go. They are changing than just the tube. Try again, Core. Are you saying they are changing more than just the tube material? Yeah. So a Block 2 booster was tested in 2019 unintentionally. It wasn't unintentional, Aiden. It wasn't unintentional. We theorized the original reason when the NSSL contract was confirmed. We had a long discussion on this stream about why Northrop Grumman would even bother trying to enter the launch market on their own. Why would you do that? They already have Antares. Why would you bother? Right? Why would you bother scratch building a new heavy launch vehicle when ULA, SpaceX, Blue Origin? Why would you bother? It doesn't make any sense. Because if you lose, you're out you're out a good deal of money, right? And you have all these rockets that you developed, right? And you're not going to have any use for them, right? So we were thinking about it. We had that Space Nude lasted 8 hours. We were talking it out, right? And what we figured out is that from a business standpoint, entering this and using the money for the NSSL program, the development money under the NSSL Phase 1, which is Launch Services Agreement, so LSA, under the LSA, the Air Force basically paid them to engineer this booster, right? It was seed money to fund development, right? So Northrop Grumman developed this, and they tested the boosters. They never launched a rocket. And when the NSSL Phase 2 contract kicked in, which was the Launch Service Procurement Contract, or LSP for short, they didn't get selected. So we were thinking, why would they even bother? Why would you even bother? Okay, so they paid you to develop this booster, and now you just have these boosters lying around doing nothing, right? Then we figured it out. They were targeting the BOLE program. I knew about BOLE before this, long time before this. Northrop Grumman, well, if they got the contract, that's great, sweet. Now we can make these boosters. We make a lot of these boosters, right? But if they didn't get the contract, right? These boosters, well, they can use them to get a contract for SLS down the road because they're basically the only ones that can make boosters for that. So it's actually a pretty smart play by Northrop Grumman. They basically conned the Air Force into $500 million to develop boosters to target a NASA program. Should I be upset about this, or should I be upset about that? That's defense money that will end up finding its way inadvertently into NASA's pocket. Should I be mad about that? I don't all right. I ain't mad. Why did they buy a crawler then? They didn't buy a crawler. They bought a mobile launcher in anticipation of getting the contract. They promptly scrapped that mobile launcher after they didn't get selected. Why should you be upset? Do you want less rockets? I was annoyed when Omega got canceled, Swishio. I'm not gonna lie. That pissed me off. But maybe someday down the road. I mean, yeah, they basically played the Air Force. It's pretty funny, actually. I mean, I'm sure the Air Force knew about it. I'm sure, it wasn't like, oh, this isn't even my final card. You fell for my trap card, Air Force. Ha 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 ha. No, it's pretty cool, actually. It's that technology that the Department of Defense basically paid for will find its way into SLS eventually. Hey, Nazlik, what's going on? So they basically got a free rocket design. But that rocket design goalie will find its way into the SLS program. Nobody else is gonna try to do BOLE stuff. Northrop Grumman's so far ahead of the curve there, unless Elon Musk wants to say, hey, yeah, put 4 Falcon heavy boosters on the side of SLS and instead of 2 SRBs, and then go from there. Which I'll admit that'd be pretty sick. But yeah, hey, Ismic, what's going on? Air Force banished to the Shadow Realm. You right? Scamming defense program. Yeah, Noctis. I was like, based and Northrop Grumman pilled. It's like, all right, good. Should I be upset about this or? So what they're going to do is they're going to use these lightweight boosters here. They're let's see. Let's look at the PowerPoint here. The forward assembly. So the forward assembly is this part of the booster right here. Optimized forward assembly structure for mass and integration improvements. SLS forward attach at SLS location. I think that's the engineer's way of saying it's the same size. Redesigned forward separating bolt. Interesting. Modified avionics mounting scheme. Okay. And integration hardware. SLS-like developmental flight instrumentation. Upgraded raceway. Newly integrated upgraded flight termination system. SLS fixed service structure electronics. I don't know what that FSS means. Yeah, pretty much submitted. To me, it should have been 40-40 ULA SpaceX and then 10 to Blue Origin and Northrop Grumman. And that's basically what it is. Now, that NSSL contract is not for all Department of Defense launches. It's for a majority of Department of Defense launches from 2022 to 2028. The Air Force, the Space Force now does have open bidding on NSSL. Some of those are free, they're free to award the contracts as they see fit. So, I mean, it basically is. That it is exactly what you're describing. SpaceX and ULA, even though they got ULA got 60% and SpaceX got 40% of like 90% of the launches. It literally is exactly that. If you want to go read about the launch services procurement contract, that's what it's called. It's National Security Space Launch Contract Launch Services Procurement, which is phase 2. So it's the NSSL LSP phase 2. That's what it's called. Is the BOLE slideshow new? This is a new Phil Sloss article, Loopy. So yeah, I mean, Titan and Omega style attachment scheme at SLS location. Titan and Omega style attachment scheme at SLS location. Submitted. Did Savvy get your question? Does moving mass from the boosters to payload mass mess up the TWR? No, not really. I don't know what that means. I don't know much about Titan 4, I'll be honest with you. I'm interested in, what do you mean, the attachment mechanism? So Omega is supposed to have side boosters, so I'm guessing the attachment points are going to be similar to Titan or Omega. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. There's a render on the second page showing the new attachment system. Oh, alright, cool. We'll go back to the article then. Indirect lightning electrical bonding for composites. Okay. Proven attach and separation scheme for enhanced vehicle clearances. Okay. Integrated motor. Composite casing with displacement controlled joints. Okay. Hydroxyl terminated polybutadiene HTPB propellant. Tailored burn rate and grain design. Okay. So thrust curve optimization. Grain optimized for max Q constraint. Okay, that basically means the SRB is designed to work like the old SRBs. WEI of internal insulation. I don't know what that means. High expansion ratio nozzle and exit cone. Basically, it's the nozzle on the SRB is halfway optimized to be a first stage and halfway optimized to be a second stage. They're designed to create peak. The boosters are designed to create peak efficiency at higher altitudes. For better performance. The Omega booster has that cone. See the cone? High expansion ratio nozzle right there. That's part of the reason why the Omega booster test, the nozzle exploded, because they were getting flow sep inside of the booster. Inside of the booster's nozzle, excuse me. Steel attached cylinder and domes, no CSA ring. I don't know what the CSA ring means. Is SpaceX testing their booster now? Yeah. Would Titan 4 boosters on the shuttle work, or is it too weak? No, not even close, Aiden. These SRBs are like double the size. Yeah. Mach Q, passing its transonic pressure optimizations. So maximum dynamic pressure. It's a little bit different, but it's I don't know that for sure. I'm going to assume that Mach Q is similar to dynamic pressure, because you usually get a dynamic pressure, the highest dynamic pressure, or max Q, somewhere near transonic, so. Aft assembly, mass optimized aft skirt and mobile launcher interface, internally mounted booster separation mechanism. New ET electronic thrust vector control using high voltage batteries. Cool. Nice. I don't know what LRU means. Could SLS handle these right now? Yeah, of course. Goalie, they designed that core stage. The core stage is engineered from the start to be able to have a bigger upper stage and bigger boosters. They did that on purpose. You can see that from Marshall Space Flight Center's testing regimes. Remember when they crushed that hydraulic, not the hydraulic, they used the hydraulic press to crush the hydrogen tank? If you go and read a little bit about that study, they had the tank at 260% of rated flight pressure for 3 hours. You know what that tells me? It's designed for heavier boosters and heavier payload from the start. LRU is line replaceable unit. It's basically commercial off the shelf. Cool. The SLS core stage from the start is basically designed for the Block 2 variant. That's just kind of how that that's not how that ended up. That's the right way to do it. You don't want to baseline a booster and not have those constraints to be able to expand the design. SLS could launch two Delta 4 heavy upper stages. I'll bet you, 260% of rated performance at 3 hours with a 3% failure, a 3% deviation from the math, from the Marshall Space Flight hydrogen tank test. That 3% deviation is insane. That core stage can hold up a lot more than you think. Yeah. And that's also, it can take much heavier boosters. How much would one of these SRBs, how much Delta V would one of these SRBs have by itself? It could make it into space. It could SSTO easily, Jonas. All right. That's the space news yawns. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, that's what this is supposed to be over here. Is Artemis 1 going to go the same speed as the shuttle? No, it's going to go faster. It needs to go to the moon. The shuttle never went to the moon. Only in some wild fan fictions did it go to the moon. Yeah, it's going to go faster. Way faster. The Orion capsule that's on top of Artemis 1 is going to hit about 23,000 miles an hour. Yeah, 23,000 miles an hour out after the initial translunar injection burn, and then 23,000 miles an hour at entry interface. Takeoff to booster separation. It should be more or less the same, Aiden. More or less. It's a shuttle-derived launch vehicle, so I don't think it's that far of a stretch to be able to say that your shuttle-derived launch vehicle flies similar to the space shuttle. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I think that sounds right. I mean, you tell me. Does that sound right? Here. Let's see. Comparing SLS crew to translunar injection. Block 1B to Block 2. Well, there's your... This isn't between the shuttle and this. This is between Block 1B with the old SRBs and Block 2. It gives you a pretty... Yeah, pretty good bump right there. Yeah, that's a pretty hard bump in performance. Nice. What's the jagged bit in the arc up after booster burnout? So this is a subset of a much bigger thing. So this is launch, right? What you're seeing here, it's the exergy efficiency. So, oh God, what the hell does exergy mean? I forget. Long story short, you have liftoff, right? And then the boosters go through a regressive thrust curve. This is the boosters throttling down. Throttling. You can get a booster. You can... Okay, this needs to be a much bigger thing to understand. Here, hold on. Okay. SRBs have solid propellant inside of them, okay? Solid propellant is called grain. It's called grain in the industry, okay? So, a rocket in an SRB is a convergent divergent nozzle design, just like a liquid fuel rocket. It's very similar, okay? The thing is that the SRBs, the solid rocket propellant, right? The solid rocket propellant is basically built into the combustion chamber from the start. So, all right, if you look at like a liquid fuel rocket, right? A liquid fuel rocket has its combustion chamber, right, like this, and then you have a throat, and then you have a nozzle, right? This is a liquid fuel. Liquid fuel, or I mean, every rocket engine looks like this, right? And then you'd have like turbo pumps here and here feeding propellants in, etc., etc. An SRB is basically like this. It's the same concept, right? But instead of an injector plate being right here that delivers the fuel and the combustion chamber is here, the SRB is just goes it just keeps going, right? And then you'd have the top of the segmented SRB at the top is the top of your combustion chamber, and then there's just basically a spark igniter here. Inside there's grain on the sides of the combustion chamber, okay? And then when this thing pops, right, it lights the grain on fire and it shoots the gases down into the throat and out the nozzle, right? So it does rocket engine things down there. I could get more into that in a second. But SRBs are throttleable. They're just not throttleable in real time, okay? How you pack the grain... How you pack the grain on an SRB has a lot to do with it. Because, all right, this is going to get technical for a second. Because the surface area inside of your combustion chamber has a lot to do with combustion chamber pressure, right? If you have a smaller surface area and the same size explosion inside of a smaller area, you're going to get a higher combustion chamber pressure. Straightforward stuff, right? You have a bigger combustion chamber, right? You deliver the same amount of fuel as you did with the other one, you're going to have a lower combustion chamber pressure. Now, what's the benefits and drawbacks of either one? Depends on what you're doing. With SRBs, the way you physically pack the grain inside of that combustion chamber is going to denote how the booster performs. And if you pack it in a certain way, right, if you pack the grain in a certain way, you can get the booster to basically throttle for you. Here's an example. This right here, this one, with just the gray part being the grain and the open part being the part that goes down to the nozzle, the throat and the nozzle, this is a progressive thrust curve right here. This right here is called a regressive thrust curve. There are thrust curves that have increases in thrust, a flat off amount of thrust, and then a regressive thrust curve after it. The shuttle's booster are somewhere between 3 and 6 in terms of how they pack the grain. It's more like 3, okay? So the SRBs throttle up, they get the vehicle off the ground, and then the way they pack the grain inside of the SRBs gets the boosters to basically throttle back. The SRB burns from the center outwards, and if you're burning from the center outwards, depending on how you make the design, right, you can increase or decrease the surface area of the combustion chamber, and you can change the chamber pressure. So you can throttle the SRBs, because changing the chamber pressure is how most rockets get throttled in the first place. So the problem is you can't control this in real time, okay? So when you light the SRBs, that's it. You're not going to be able to shut them off unless you have some kind of fire suppressant system built into the SRB to be able to shut it down, to be able to rob the SRB of oxidizer, right? You could, but you can also get them to throttle. It's just not in real time. It's kind of a baked thrust curve. So what that characteristic, the exergy, I'm not exactly 100% on exergy here, but what that's showing right there is the regressive thrust curve. So the boosters throttle up, they burn the grain in a certain way that gets it to gets the SRBs to throttle back for max Q, right? And then they throttle all the way back up again, out of max Q. And then the boosters start a regressive thrust tail off. Why? Because if they were making the same amount of thrust as they were down here, the TWR for SLS would go ridiculous. It would basically, yeah, it would liquefy somebody. I mean, you'd feel it. So they tail off the thrust tailing off an SRB, standing by for separation. You know, you've heard it if you watched NASA footage before. So the thrust tails off, and then down here you have flame out and separation. Point is, now down here, right, this is the core stage. I would guess that this is the core stage ramping up. As the SRBs tail off in thrust, they probably throttle the RS-25s up, right? And then the boosters flame out, and right here is core stage. Core stage, this is the core stage flying all the way into orbit, so like T plus 2 minutes all the way up to T plus 8 minutes, right? And then you have core stage burnout, and then this is the third stage over here, right? Because most of your velocity comes from launching into space. So that's why this is a subset of a much higher graph, right? Down here is representing that. Forgot to tag you. Exergy is a term used in thermodynamics. It's basically the energy able to be expended. Got it. What's the discussion today? Hey, Rocket, what's going on? So these are basically, well, per what Novus was saying, they're the energy that's being expended because they throttled the SRBs with regressive thrust curves and then progressive and then flat and then a tail off after that show a little bit of a difference. But you have with the upgrades made to the SRBs, you have a lot higher performance from your SRBs, and that gives you a bump in the graph. This will end up manifesting itself as more C3, more characteristic energy, and also more delta V. Basically, you have a lighter booster that is more powerful. You have a lighter booster, you know, if you don't, they changed the propellants too. They said they optimized the grain on the SRBs for the BOLE program, right? So if you have upgraded propellants and a lighter SRB casing, right, your SRB is going to go further, right? So that will make it so SLS can move bigger stuff around in space. That's a good thing. That's kind of what you want. Thanks, Revan. You like that? So exergy efficiency means the amount of energy actually gotten out of the system divided by the energy gotten out of the theoretically perfect system. Ah, okay. Cool. What was that space shuttle design called with the big drop tank on the front? Star Clipper, I think. Something like that. Alright, the second page has the attachment mechanism stuff. Talk you out of it, please. What's this? An 86 Trans Am. Talk you out of it? Alright, hold on. Let me take a look. I don't know what you're talking about, Eagle. I don't know what that is. Yeah, 383 stroker motor. It's got headers in it. It's got a rebuilt 5-speed. Good tires and brakes. Run good. Sounds good. 4900 OBO.
Discovery, go at throttle up. Discovery, go at throttle up.
Short bus, 3-month resub. Jack tank with a 26-month there. Color should be enough to talk you out of it. Yeah, that doesn't matter with an old car. Who cares? You can always get it repainted. 4900 OBO. Go at him with 4000S. Do it. See what happens. I mean, the car looks pretty straight. The paint is caca. There's whatever's going on right there. Yeah, 4900 is too high for this. Third gen F bodies are meh. The front, yeah, this whole thing needs to be repainted. Or you could keep the patina. That's cool nowadays, I guess. It's got a 5-speed. They're not a lot of these cars have a 5-speed in them. A lot of them had turbo 350s. So that's actually pretty cool. But here's the thing, man. When you buy somebody else's car like this, somebody else has messed with it, also finger cam. It's got 93,567 miles on 1,000 miles on it. I mean, are you buying this? 4,900 is too much. That's too much. But he said OBO, which means that's a nice way of saying that it's negotiable, right? So I'd go at him with 4,000. See what he says. I mean, even 4 is a little high for that. It's not that it's a lot of work, and that car is those cars are pretty simple to work on. They're not that bad. And it's got a 383 in it, which means it'll go. Yeah, Rocket, even 4K, 4,000 is a little too high. That's why I said go at him with 4,000 and see what happens. But what I would do, I'd probably try to get that down to 3. Everybody highballs on Craigslist and on Facebook Marketplace. They all highball. That's what they do. You know, I'm going to sell this and I want to make 15K off of it, but it's worth 10. So I'm going to mark it at 15, and I know people are going to lowball me and they'll come at me with 13 or something, right? And I'll still make money. Work equals a money sinkhole. So, S-Master, are you buying this for fun? Is it a project car, or are you buying this as your daily? Because if you're buying it as a daily, you really got to know what you're doing if you daily an old car like this. Oh, dang. Nah, that doesn't do anything for me, predominant. SpaceX ships update. RE exergy efficiency. It's kind of like talking about the thermal efficiency of your car engine. Oh, okay. Okay, alright. Yeah, no, that actually, yeah, car analogy, Novus. That's what made it sink in my stupid head. Hey, whatever works, man. That makes sense. I need a daily. I wanted something that works well, but not 2000's ugliness. Buy a pickup truck. I mean, buy a pickup truck. Yeah, DBH, there's also that. People are highballing like crazy because of COVID. I mean, that doesn't really affect older cars, though. You don't need a chip to run these damn older cars, but diesel or gas, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, Rocket, I'm with you on that one. Don't buy this as a daily. I mean, you could, if you really wanted to. If you wanted to daily this, that's totally fine. A car runs and drives, but it is an old car, all right? And don't get me wrong, I do firmly think that the old stuff is built better. But any car, when you get up above 100,000 miles, you're going to have to keep an eye on. There's a rule of thumb, dude, with carcane addictions. Don't screw with your daily driver. Don't screw with it. So, like, when I went to buy the Mustang is a cool car. Could I make it faster? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to make that car go faster. Am I going to? No, absolutely not. That's why I have the truck and the Dodge. We can do dumb things with those. Okay? So, this was not someone's daily driver. This was somebody's project car. So, be careful about buying project cars. That's all. If you want to daily a project car, you can. But it's going to require more of your attention. If the thing breaks and you can't get to work because it's a project car and somebody's went and messed with all this stuff, then yeah, you're going to have a bad day. I'd really like something manual and sporty as opposed to a truck. Dude, if your heart is set on it, and you want it as your daily driver, do it. What I'm telling you is you're going to have headaches down the road. You don't know what people have done to this car. Yeah, it has a 383 in it with a 5-speed, which is cool. But you don't know what people have done to this thing. Okay? And, you don't, like, somebody's clearly been under the dash here by this picture. Somebody's been under the dash and put a temp sensor in. Why is there an aftermarket temp sensor? There's a temp sensor on the dashboard right there. Why would you have this there? Red flag, dude. Overheating problems. There's a temp sensor in this gauge cluster over here. Why have another one? Why have an aftermarket one? That tells me that either this thing has electrical gremlins or it had overheating problems. Maybe that's why the motor was rebuilt. I'm going to keep looking. Thanks, though. I'm telling you, you could buy, dude, if you want to and you have the cash, if you want to blow it on that, that's fine. You're going to need another 2 to 3 G's easily. That's not even including like the $1,000 that you need to get insurance, put it on the road, blah, 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 all the crap that you have to jump through. Another 2 to 3 grand on top of that for that car to be reliable for a daily. I would go over the wire harness in that thing completely. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Find something else. There's plenty of other stuff out there. That car is cool. And as a secondary car to screw around with, like if you want to make that into a dragster or an autocross car, now we're talking. Yeah, absolutely do it. $4,900 is too high. But, yeah. I couldn't agree more. I have a carcane addiction and I finally wised up. I don't touch my daily driver lower. I do the preventative maintenance, and I even go and buy the stupid parts from the dealership for it because I'm an idiot. Well, not an idiot. I want the parts that were engineered for it to be on the car. I'll pay more money for it. That's fine. I know that those parts were engineered for that car. Not somebody that looked at the original part, decided to engineer it or copy the design and manufacture their own. Now, don't get me wrong. With project cars, do whatever. You do whatever you want, right? But yeah, you really need to, with your daily, just like, I mean, I wouldn't buy it like a Prius as a frigging daily, right? But like a freaking Civic or something, or a Ford Focus or whatever. Go look for Ford Focuses that are manual, or a Fiesta ST or something. Or, I mean, if you want to spend some cash in RS, those are good daily drivers that are fun to drive. Yeah, Savvy, I only put factory parts on that Mustang. Booster 3 cryogenic proof test is going right now. Yep. What about a Golf GTI? Volkswagens are cool, S. They are difficult to work on, and it's German parts. German cars. Be prepared to pay if something breaks. You have to keep up with the maintenance on those German cars. If you keep up with the routine maintenance, they will work. They'll be good to you and they'll work forever. You got to keep up. You got to keep up with the maintenance. And you have to use this. You have to use the stuff that was engineered for it. How the Germans make cars is that if you put something else in there that wasn't engineered for the vehicle, it'll break it. That's why you have to use the German parts, or you're gonna, if you want it to go faster, you need to really pay for it. All right. The funny part is that the dealer parts after a certain year are often third-party reboxed like Dorman.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Not for an '08, Kev, but yeah, I know what you mean. The wheel cylinders on for the Coronet that I put in the other day, they're Dorman. Yeah, absolutely. Twitch it, 10-month resub. What is this? Does this do anything for me? Why do you want this? What is this? 77 Coupe DeVille, 84,000 original miles, runs excellent, 4,500. Too much. Wait a minute. Okay. Nuclear. I don't know this for sure. I see some red flags. It's a cool car. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool car. And it runs and drives great. 84,000. So what I'm looking for, guys, when I do this, what I'm looking for, you have 77 Coupe DeVille, 84,000 original miles. Low. That's low for a car from 1977. However, low mileage doesn't necessarily mean that it's a nice car. This has 84,000 original miles. The interior is shot. At least the seat is. That's all junk. It's all cracked. Which means somebody didn't take care of the leather seats. That's fine. Dash looks okay. So this does reflect a car that has about 84,000 miles on it, but it also reflects a car that's been sitting for some time. I can already tell it's been sitting. See that right there? What's that? See this little thing on the door jamb? What's that about? This car's been sitting for a second. It sat for a number of years. There's rust on the sill plate right there. Well, not rust, it's corrosion because it's an aluminum sill plate. The other thing I'm noticing here is that something's weird about the seat back and the seat belt retainer right here. It looks like it's made out of aluminum. It's corroded. Why is it corroded? This is inside of the car. Now, somebody could say, well, it was in Florida, EJ. Yeah, what does it do a lot of in Florida? The steel screw right there is rusted, and there's a bunch of poop on the side of the seat back right there. It didn't tell me that the windows were down or on. It tells me that the roof leaks. The doors leak. And if the doors are leaking, that means water is pooling inside. The seals on these old cars do go. American cars from that time period weren't built badly. The seals just go after 30 years. The rubber. You have to take care of it. Somebody didn't take care of the leather seat, so they definitely didn't take care of the seals. So that means that car's windows are leaking. If the windows are leaking, yeah, you can replace the seals. That's fine. But that means water is in the floor pan. If water's in the floor pan, that means there's holes in the floor. Water pooling inside of the car is the worst. That's why American cars are all rusted out. That's why they basically rot themselves from the inside out. That's what happened with the Coronet. Coronet has a hole in the trunk because of that same thing, right? So this car is cool. It's cool, but also, look. See, why is there rust above the headlight? That means this car sat, and it sat and it leaked. Now, just because the rocker panels look good on the outside doesn't mean that the car isn't rusty. There's things that you notice. That right there, and that is a dead giveaway. The door seals leak, which means there's water in the floor. Now, don't get me wrong, could be nothing. Could be nothing. Water can pool, but a lot of cars have drainage systems just in case that happens. The Caddy might have it. I don't know. You got it, and that's what I mean. If you take care of a car, and taking care of it means keeping the seals good, taking care of the seats. If you take care of it, it'll last a long time. But the older the car gets, the more things you have to maintain. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have the seals in the old car, the seals will start to go. You replace all the seals, right? Then it'll last longer, right? But it's still another thing to do. Will somebody buy me a hydroplane? The rims are a distraction to sucker someone into paying more. If I was gonna buy this and use this as my daily driver, I would ask them why is that there? What's that about? And if they go, yeah, it's just a little rusty, that means they don't know. Or they're not telling you something. Don't go into a deal if you're gonna wheel and deal for a car like that. Don't go in there trying to be a nice person to the other person, all right? You're going to drive around in this car. You're trusting this car with your life if you want it. Don't be empathetic. I'm not saying be a jerk either. You know what I mean? Oh, what's that rust about? It's just rusty. If the guy says, I had it sit outside for a long time, car's been sitting for a while, that's pretty truthful. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. The Caddy is almost definitely 170K instead of a 70K rollover seems likely. Yeah, Kev, I would say that, but the dash is the giveaway there. Look at the dashboard. Look at the interior. I would say no. Guy says 84,000. I believe that. This is 84,000 miles, daily driven, not maintained. Yeah, the dash is too cherry. It's a dead giveaway. But it's also very apparent that this car sat. It was driven for a long time, and then it sat for a long time. Did I see your last? I'm getting to it. Okay, what do we got? What is this? Oh, jeez. You listened to everything I said, but hear you out. Okay. Hey, Zonic. No. No. Okay, S, what are you going to do in the winter? You gonna drive that in the snow? You gonna drive it in the snow? Yeah, Kev, absolutely. Yeah. I look at the miles. If it says 84,000, I'm looking for 184. The dashboard being pretty mint means that it's 84. That's about right. But it means that it's 84 and it means that it's been sitting. That's what I looked at. I mean, they do roll over though. You're absolutely right. Drive it in the snow. Okay. If you want to, you have a very nice 88 Corvette. It's got a C4, Corvette C4, 350 cubic inch. So it's an LT1 motor. Aluminum angle plug heads, runs and drives well. Moving, don't need this car and don't have the room for it. 5,000 OBO. Oh, it has 17-inch wheels, heavy duty braking and suspension. And it's a heavy duty one. Oh, well, shoot. Trade for a decent 3/4 ton 4x4. This thing's not going to handle well in the snow. Nice Dodge over there. Kev, you see anything? Looks all right to me. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's that? Hold on. Is that what the factory... Is that the factory relay for the AC compressor? Is it blue? Do you see any other blue connectors on this car? See that right there? Somebody messed with the AC pump. It looks like a V8 to you. This is a 5.7 LT1 motor. So it's a 350 tune port injection. Just what he said. That's the right, yeah, he's right. I'd be wary of that. Everything else here looks like nobody's touched it. See? This is all factory stuff. It's an automatic though, man, if that's what you want. It's an automatic. So, okay, two things about these cars, S. So one, it's an LT1 motor, all right, which means OptiSpark, all right? These motors and these cars are not good daily drivers, all right? The reason why they're not good daily drivers is because of what's called the OptiSpark system. So, it's a cam and block V8, so you have your crankshaft right here, and you have your camshaft above it, okay? The camshaft has the timing chain, right, to the crankshaft. Out in front of that, okay, you have, see, this is such a stupid idea. GM, this was the dumbest thing that they could do. You have your distributor, your OptiSpark distributor being actuated off of the camshaft, okay? And then in front of that, you have the water pump, okay? GM did this so that the motor wouldn't have a distributor shaft in it. The distributor shaft is that thing that looks like it kind of looks like a cup, right, with a bunch of spikes coming up the top and the ignition wires. It's what sends the ignition signal down to the spark plugs, okay? GM with that LT1 V8 needed an OptiSpark system. Why? Because, long story short, they wanted to cram it under the hood of the Corvette. Okay, they ended up putting the LT1 motor in a bunch of different things, like Caprices, Impalas, bunch of things, right, as the performance option. But let's go back to that OptiSpark for a second. Okay, you have an OptiSpark motor, camshaft, electronic distributor, water pump. Water, electricity. The water pump seals do leak on these engines after a while, just like any other motor, but the water starts leaking into the ignition system. Yeah, OptiSpark. Yeah, so if you want to daily that, I'd go and replace the OptiSpark outright, dude. Those engines are not easy to maintain. You want to get it the OptiSpark, it's in here somewhere. It's down here, so you have to take all this stuff off. Which, I mean, yeah, that's a pain. Wait a minute, hold on. No, oh, it's still an HEI engine. Hold on. Okay, scrap everything that I just said. This is not an LT1 motor. It's before that. So it's still got it's got an HEI distributor. All right, never mind. You're good. You're good. That's TPI. It's different. That one has a distributor on it. Sorry, it's hiding under that cover. Buy it? I would not buy that as a daily driver. But if you want to, it's your money, dude. What year is this Corvette? How difficult would it be to modernize the interior of old cars, so like displays and seats? It depends. The blue tape means that someone botched the AC repair system, right? No, not necessarily, Loopy. It's just not... So, okay, Loopy, with these cars, it's not that somebody botched the repair, dude. That has nothing to do with it. That means somebody replaced something, right? But they didn't replace it with factory, all right? They did. It's about it. Okay, all right. This is car terminology, so understand the context. It's called molested, all right? So somebody molested the car, right? Like, funny. Blah, blah, it's molested. I get it. It's not funny, but whatever. Someone's gonna laugh at it, right? So that means that someone did work on the car, which is good, but you don't know what they did. It's not a factory replacement. That's what that means. The AC probably works just fine on the car. But whoever messed with the AC pump, right, did something that wasn't the factory. They put something else in there that wasn't factory. It's just about continuity, dude. So that means someone has messed with the car. And when they messed with the car, they didn't do what the factory, they didn't replace it exactly as factory. That's what that tells me. So that tells me that someone is screwed with the car. Part of the reason why I bought the Coronet, right? Part of the reason why I bought it is because the Coronet was unmolested. Nobody touched the engine bay. So that means I know that everything underneath the engine bay on the Coronet is how it came from the factory. So I know what to expect. This is what you got to think about when you're buying cars, especially if you want a cool car as your daily. They Bubba jobbed it. It could be an aftermarket part, Loopy. That could be an aftermarket AC compressor. But yeah, that's not a factory connector from GM. Not from that era, at least. That's how I know. Wheeling and dealing cars, there's stuff to look for. There's stuff to look for that you got to pay attention to. This would be an L98 engine. Thanks, Apatoxin. Yeah, it's not an OptiSpark. It's not an LT1. It's too early. So it's an 8. Wait a minute. Hold on, Apatoxin. This is an 88 Vet. Hang on. We're gonna get to playing Kerbal in a second. I pretty much got through what I wanted to get through for the for that. Oh, hold on. I gotta read something here. When did they introduce the OptiSpark? See, 350 LT1. This is an L98. See, that's the LT1. It's very similar looking. It has a different intake manifold, though. That's OptiSpark. See the water pump right there? It's an electric water pump, which is cool, which means it's not parasitic, but the OptiSpark is in there. This is an L98 engine, Apatoxin. You're right. Nice. That's a ZR1. It says it right there, but that's the ZR1 4-cam. That's a cool car. Let me just read something. They usually say when the engine came in what year. 1992, LT1 engine replaces the L98. Okay, 92 was the first year for the LT1. Good. All right, good to know. So that is okay. All right, cool. It's a stock motor. All right. I was wondering because if they introduced like the LT1 in 1987, right? That means that's not the engine that came in the car. This is the kind of stuff you got to keep track of. EJ's Car Agency is great content. I didn't really think you guys would want to know this or care about it, but... So it wouldn't necessarily be an issue if they documented what could be done to it, right? Like if somebody says, I put this specific carburetor on. Yeah, That's called documentation, Loopy. Yeah, and documentation will help keep the retail value of your car higher. For instance, if you go to the dealership and the dealership does all the work for you, you have all the receipts showing that they did all the work for you, right? That actually will keep the car's price higher. Because cars, the second you drive them off the lot, the price goes down. So if you bought a car from a car dealership, straight up, you just came in, the car's 30 grand, you threw 30 grand down on the table, right? You got in it, you drove it off the lot, drove it around the block, and then tried to sell it back to them. Car's worth 20 grand now. This is cars. It's a labor of love. That's just how this works. So on the flip side, you're trying to sell your truck. I know everything wrong with it, and I have all the paperwork on the work done and what I don't like. But how would you list it and still be honest, but give them no ammo to try and lowball you? Just be honest and be firm on the price. Look, you cite the blue book. So if your car is worth $3,000 in the condition that it's in, per the blue book, look, I need to part with it for this much. I'm pretty firm on this price. This is a nice car. I know what's wrong with it. This stuff needs to be fixed. But just stay firm on the price. And if they say no, they say no. That's fine. 2006 Mustang. Any better? Don't say I know what I have. That's a nice way of sounding like a moron. All right, you guys want to keep going with this? You can keep going with this. Yeah, be honest, but like, don't be a jerk. Like, just say, look, this is what's wrong with the car. If you're straightforward about this stuff and you're telling the truth, anybody that knows a little bit about cars is going to know that you're telling the truth. It's if you start making stuff up, they'll know. Like, look, with that Cadillac, I would ask about the rust. Why is there rust on the seatbelt cover? That means water's been in there. Why is there water in there? Oh, I let it sit for a little while and the seal started to go. Boom, there you go. You have your reason. That is perfectly acceptable, right? That's an acceptable reason. That's fine. Sure. Okay. That guy's probably being honest with you. If you say, why is this rusty? Why is it all corroded? I spilled Coke in there one time and it's flat. No, you didn't. No, that's not. No. Oh, I spilt my drink on it. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Ari, what's going on? Oh no, what's that, Forge? Oof. Ouch. Yeah, Loopy. Mm-hmm. If there's a dealer around, the cars tend to be that, because people go to the dealer that they know. Cool, like, interesting story, Loopy. A lot of people in Massachusetts that like cars like Chevy. A lot of the older crowd, they like Chevy. I'm a Ford guy, and there's not a lot of Ford guys around here. A lot of GM guys, though. You know why? Because there was a GM plant in Framingham, and everybody bought from the GM plant. If you're in Southeast Michigan, like where Brimo grew up, you drive around there, you will not see an import car. No Nissans, no Mercedes, no BMWs, nothing. You won't see them because everybody works at the factories and everybody gets discounts on those cars, so they buy those cars. In Dearborn, you're going to see Fords. In Hamtramck, which is where the Chevy plant is, you're going to see Chevys. In Auburn Hills, where Chrysler is, you're going to see Chryslers. All right, S, what do you got? 2006 Ford, read the description. So it's an 06 Mustang. It's a V6. I can... They didn't make a 4-cylinder Mustang in this year, so that's bull crap. Unless the engine swapped it. Let's read the description like the guy says. I'm selling a yellow 2006 Ford Mustang that has new tires and a clean title. The timing chain needs to be replaced and it has some minor body damage. Trying to get rid of it fast, so please message me with an offer. No lowballing. Hold on. So, this year Mustang, this is an S197 5th generation Mustang. I own one like this. They didn't make a 4-cylinder. It either came with a 4-liter iron block or a 4.6 V8 with a 3-valve in it. So it's a modular engine. Yeah, they did not make a 4-cylinder in this year. The 4-cylinder Mustang was from 81 to 84 with the SVO Mustang on the Fox platform. And then when the S550 chassis rolled out in 2015, they added a 2.3 turbo option, and they've been making it since. So from 81 to 84 and from 2015 to present is when they put 4-cylinders in Mustangs. Mustang has never came with a 4-cylinder at any other time. So, I mean, that guy just could have misclicked. I can already tell you that this is a V6. It's got the V6 trim package on it, and any Mustang that you see with this, with the side, the Go Faster stripes on it, needs the Go Faster stripes because it's got a small engine. They're nice cars, as they suck in the snow. But it looks pretty clean. There's a lot of scuffs. There's a scuff there, scuff there. Man, the car looks weird in yellow. He's got an aftermarket Aftermarket stereo in it. See that little thing right there, S? That thing gets clogged. That's a drain relief for the door. A lot of water ends up going down here and pooling in the doors, and you have to open that relief up. Check down there to see if there's any paint bubbling. If that's what I would do. I know this car like the back of my hand. Check this car like if the paint's bubbling down there, don't buy it. The door will rust from the inside out. Door car. Okay, a little bit of a scuff there. That's no problem. What happened here? Bumblebee's a Camaro, by the way. I'd want to know what that's about. He's missing some trim pieces from the front bumper right there. There's some trim pieces that weren't taken off or weren't put on. There's also something weird going on with the hood that could just be the reflection there. It's got a couple of nicks, but I'll be honest with you. This just looks like a V6 Mustang that a guy daily drove. That's all. If it's got a 4-cylinder in it, if you go and you open up the hood and it's got a 4-cylinder in it, promptly close the hood and leave. This looks like just a car that he daily drove. That's all. It's got, like, once again, though, it's got a V6 in it, so. Door card is ripped. Timing chain and body problems. What do you mean timing chain? Is that what he said? Hold on, let me go back. The timing chain needs to be replaced and has some minor body damage. Okay. What'd you see on the door card, Kev? Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, that's normal. That happens. Mine does that. It's because these Mustangs have black interiors, and whatever they use to adhere the paneling right there, it comes off. Mine did that. I took apart the door card and fixed it, but that's normal. I know that that's normal in this particular case, though. That happens. Yeah, S. I kept track of mine. You guys want to know you really want to know what I did? And people are gonna judge me for it. And that's okay. I don't care. I used Gorilla Tape, so I re-adhered the thing and it started to come up again. But I used Gorilla Tape on the seam. I cut a piece of it out in the shape that I needed to adhere it to that, and it hasn't moved since. Yeah, I just taped it up. It's a black interior. You won't notice. You wouldn't notice unless you looked at it. But yeah, no, that's normal. I also like that dish. That's very nice. Last one for fun. I mean, once again, timing chain on that car. That's why he's getting rid of it quick, because it's a daily driver and it broke. That's what happened. Those 4-liter iron block engines are. It's a motor. It makes you go forward, and that's about it. Yeah, Racing Kid. It's just interior, and that happens. The door cards do get screwed up like that. And when I was driving, I didn't want the door card leaning on my hand. It's annoying. So, once again, I cut out Gorilla Tape to make it look like a factory seal, and I put it on there. You wouldn't know if you looked at it. It looks like it's factory. Looks all factory in there. All right, one more, S. Timing chain, though. This is for fun. You can't afford this. '68 Bonneville. Okay, 12,000 miles on it. It's got an automatic clean. Let's see, '68 Bonneville 2-door hardtop. Cool car. This is a second owner car. I purchased it from the original owner and have owned it for the last 25 years. It has always been garaged and it has been in storage for the last 4 years. This car still has the 4 original factory tires and 12,067 miles on it, making it a mint original condition car. The condition of this car's age is an extremely rare find. It's in Connecticut. All right, let's take a look. Nice. Mint. Yeah, no, it's really nice. Oh, that's cherry, dude. That's really good. Yeah, see? Okay, so if I see a car this cherry with that mileage on it, well, that means it's been sitting. Once again, just like the 77 Cadillac, right? It means it's been sitting. But guy says he's owned it for 25 years. It's been garaged and has been storage for the last couple of years, but it's always been garaged. That's a good thing. It's very clear that this, from the paint is a dead giveaway, that it's always been garaged. Now, if those are the factory tires, I would be a little weary of those, but that doesn't mean anything. That's cool. See, this car right here is unmolested. That is an unmolested car. No one screwed with it. And I'd have to pop the hood to be 100% sure, so I would want to go and check. But yeah, I mean, it's cherry, dude. Everything looks great in here. It's very clean. It looks like the Speedo is stuck. Unless he took that picture when he was driving it. Oh, nope. Okay. Yep, good call. Good eye, chat. So something's wrong with the dash. Yeah, I would not. The original tires are a red flag. How about sitting fuel? If the guy, I mean, Dan, it's very clear that the guy took care of this. The guy took pretty damn good care of it. He's owned it for 25 years and it's been garaged. He's the second owner. I wouldn't drive it with those tires. That's great. They're the factory tires. That's really cool. Yeah, no. With that heavy of a car, I mean, the tires, 68 Bonneville, those tires are over 50 years old. No. No. Bad. Garage is concerning because mice. Yeah, but the mice would have eaten the interior on this thing, dude, if that was the case. These seats would be all chewed up. It's clean. The guy cared for it. Like, you'd find mouse turds everywhere. This, yeah, no, it's nice, dude. It's a nice car. It's cherry. I don't know if it's worth 30 G's, but I wouldn't pay 30 grand for this car. But it is a cool car. That's really neat. I would need to pop the hood and look under the engine. You know, the fact in itself that the guy didn't post those pictures should tell you something. Also, the speedometer, a little weird. Maybe more 18. Cluties, I'm with you on that one. I wouldn't pay 30 G's. I mean, 12,000 miles is going to make that go up. It's 12,000 miles, but it's been cared for, which is good. Cars, in order to stay working and running in correct condition without mouses destroying it or anything like that, they need to be ran constantly. So if the guy owned it for 25 years, garaged it always, and then took it out in the summer and took care of it in the winter, then it's fine. Sure. Not everything has to be like a paranoid thing. That's the subtlety to wheeling and dealing like this. This is a nice car. It's a nice car. I wouldn't pay 30 G's for it. He's highballing, but it does only have 12,000 miles on it. So, Cluties, I would come in at 20. I'd say, what do you think about 20? And the guy would probably, he said, you know, if he said, get out of here, I'd be like, all right, 25. I wouldn't pay more than 25. No. I mean, how much do you want the car? What are you buying it for? Are you going to daily drive it? If you're going to daily drive it, the hell with that. Don't even bother. How are you feeling? I'm good, King. I'm fine. Car would be something for Gas Monkey, air ride, built engine, new wheels. I would not touch that car, Sebi. No. If it's two-owner, original car, unmolested, no. Don't touch it. Fix the problems with it, pass it on to the next person, make some money, because it's worth money. It has 12,000 miles on it. Yeah, that's right, Jason, exactly. Mm-hmm. Hey, do you know the price of a 351 small block, please? The 351 Windsor Forge was made from like 1971 to like 1997. What motor do you want? What truck? What car? They put Windsors in everything, especially the 351s. They were in cars and trucks all day until the 90s when they replaced it with the poo-poo mod motor. Well, mod motor isn't poo-poo, but you know what I mean. Take it y'all saw this raw footage. Is this Virgin Galactic stuff? Yeah, that was great, Motorkid. Mm-hmm. The 351 Fistus, though. The Windsor motor goes back to 1963. 69 fastback. Last time I checked the engine, that your grandpa took was that. So you have for your fastback forge, it's a Mach 1. So yeah, it would have came with a 351 in it. You want a period correct engine? It's gonna be up there. What you should do is buy a more modern 351, right? Buy a more modern 351 from so you know those box body Fords that I like? They had 351s in them. Buy that. Buy one from a 96 or a 97. And then go buy all the parts to dress it up to look like the older motor. The parts will bolt on. But those newer 351s that they made 90, 95, 96, 97, they're a roller engine, which is way more reliable than a flat tappet in terms of camshaft actuation. They're roller engines, so they're much nicer. Off topic, are you getting F1 2021? Maybe. Speedo cable's probably bound up. Well, Clutties, if the Speedo cable could be bound up or somebody screwed with the transmission. Those Pontiacs have a manual speedometer, which means there's a drive gear inside of the dashboard, and then there's a cable with a spinning steel tube with a spinning steel rod in it that goes down and it picks up off the transmission. If I'm remembering right, I think that thing probably has a turbo 350 in it. Oh, it's a Pontiac, so it could be a turbo 400. But if I'm remembering right, they have a drive gear off the back of the transmission, just like Ford C4. But I could be pulling that out of my tail. If that's the case, that means somebody's messed with the transmission. So I would be wondering about that one. Interesting depress in the cryo test for Booster 3. Cool. S, if you want to find a freaking car, Space News is completely derailed at this point. It's 7 o'clock. We should probably play some KSP here. So, let's see. I saved the BOLE article with SLS for last because I knew that I would need to explain that one. There's a Pontiac with a ton of collision damage sitting on the corner right by me with 800 painted on it. Should you buy it, Kappa? Loopy, you have a driveway. You have a driveway and you have your bicycle. In your case, your damn bicycle is your daily driver. I know you put a Kappa after it, but what kind of Pontiac is it? You want to freaking go learn how to wrench? Yeah. Bicycle is cheap to fix, too. It has less moving parts. Of course it's cheaper to fix. The fuel is not very expensive for it, either. It's a Big Mac. Yeah, thanks for the idea. The engine on it now is dead. I checked, and the block is cracked, but the interior is top-notch. Where is the block cracked and why? The Blue Origin news I linked earlier is that they're hiring 80 machinists and welders at their BE4 factory. Yeah, they're ramping up BE4 stuff. Yeah. There's also this. That's cool, Novus. Yeah, that tells me that if they're ramping up, if Blue Origin is ramping up at the Huntsville facility for engines, that means that they have a good engine design and they're looking to mass produce, which is pretty concurrent with what Tori Bruno said about Vulcan engines being ready by the end of this year. That makes perfect sense to me. Look at how big the vents are. Yo, that's crazy. Mint an original Shelby from a local car show a little while back. Let me see. Pfft. Nice. Nice car. That's beautiful. Yep. That's really cool. Sebi, was ist das? A P71 Crown Vic goes for 8,500 euro in Europe. Holy crap, dude. Dude, I could go find one of those for 500 bucks in the same condition, man. Wow. That's a cool car, though. That's cool for over there. It'll never let you down, that's for sure. Do we know if any of them have made it past 3 minutes without failing yet? King, we don't know for sure, but if they're doing a hiring blitz, that tells me that they're ramping up for production of BE4s. And they wouldn't ramp up production for BE4s if the thing wasn't working correctly. Pretty easy logic, right? Like that makes perfect sense. You don't ramp up when your engine doesn't work. You ramp up production when you have a working prototype, like what SpaceX did, right? They will be useless soon, won't be allowed in cities because of emissions. Also, 200 euro a month for fuel, probably. How many miles per gallon does a Crown Vic get? 12? 18 on the highway, maybe? It gets not a lot. Sebi, the car is really heavy and it has a 4.62 valve in it. It's what that engine is designed to do, because it's the police package, it's designed to sit there and idle for really long periods of time. So doesn't really have a lot of power, but it's designed to sit, on the side of the road for a long period of time and idle. That's what a P71 is built for. They're built for kind of endurance, I guess, not so much performance. You remember when Priuses were the cars people made fun of, and now they're like the staple of taxi fleets? Camrys up here, that, and Loopy, there are some Tesla taxis around too, which is pretty cool. I've only seen one P71 in real life, and it was in a cab livery and used by a cab company. Tesla converted? You could. Just thinking about how Crown Vics used to be the taxi staple. Yeah, when gas prices were lower, sure, absolutely, because it made sense. It's a big car. A lot of space in there. Really nice ride. They ride great. Because, once again, it rides great because it's a fleet vehicle, like a cab, right? Or a police car in this case, right? So, Loopy, you're a law enforcement officer. You're sitting in the damn car all day. That seat better be comfortable. You better have all the room, because cops, they have all this. They have all the walkie-talkies. They have all they have the firearm. They have all the magazines. They have bulletproof vest on. You got to have a lot of room. It's like wearing an EVA suit in a car. That's 20 liters per 100 kilometers. Oh my gosh, my Polo gets 7 liters per 100 kilometers. Well, I mean, the Crown Vic also weighs like 1.5 times as much as your Polo. Yeah, thanks, Snake. The ride is great, though. The Crown Vics and the Roadmaster Roadmaster's a real nice car. I like Roadmasters. One of my good buddies has a 95 Caprice with that LT1 motor. That's how I know about those things. It's a cool car. His name's Jimmy. I bought him a Jack Stand Jimmy shirt on his birthday from Cletus. I thought it was funny because his car's on jack stands. Doesn't run right now. Yeah. Phil, around here in Boston, people have Uber. There's Uber and Lyft Teslas. People drive Teslas around for Uber and Lyft, which is pretty. I mean, that makes sense in the city. Sure, why not? Nice, goalie. There you go. Says the guy with a non-functional truck. All right. We're not talking about trucks, though, Blueland. We're talking about land yachts. My land yacht runs and drives. His does not. Whammy. I know, man. I want a cool car, but something that's cheap to maintain. Fuel prices are insane. It's so annoying. Sure. Yeah, I mean, they really don't want you having fun over there with your car, do they? Oh yeah, Phil, I'd believe it. All right. Okay, a little bit more space news here. The shuttle knowledge is cool. That's cool. Got through that. I got through that right there. We got the version video. I'm saving that for later. The best way to find a cool car that meets your needs is to redefine what a cool car means to you. Sebi's talking about a car that goes fast, Loopy. In Europe, those are not really in high supply if you don't have a lot of money. I'm going to fix my car and then get assassinated immediately by the TUV. No comment. I like trucks, so I'm thinking about the new Maverick, but I don't know if there's a better alternative. I don't mind getting an older truck. If you want something like the Maverick, RJ, that's going to get good fuel mileage, get an S10. An S10 or a Ranger. You can get them for nothing. 83 Hilux. Yeah, Clutie's. Even Hiluxes are hard to find. Why does this look like something I would buy? A 1941 M3 Stewart light tank. I don't want that. It's 24 G's. Not a bad price, considering it's a frigging tank, but... Do they make bed cover roof things for trucks? Sure, Loopy. Of course. Is Finland in the EU? They seem to have lots of fun with cars. It is. Finland joined the European Union in 1995. That sounds like something Brimo would make you say, wait, the tank goalie? I mean, that would be cool, but... You know, the thing with cars is that there's things that you want to buy and there's things that you don't want to buy. The M3 is sick, dude. That's cool. I'd prefer a Sherman if we were going to buy a tank like this, but I mean, I don't want it. Let's LS swap it. That would be kind of cool, but I don't really want to. If I lived on like a farm or something and had a lot of land, then I'd buy it. Sure, why not? I'd buy it, I'd drive it around. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go take a stroll in my damn tank. Here, check this out. There's the Artemis 1 Orion, and there's the launch escape system. They're gonna install this on this, and then it's gonna go off to the VAB. Pretty cool. Yep, see? This is going to go on top of that. They're going to remove the cover from Orion right there. This is Orion's inside of a little balloon right there. They put the capsule inside of basically a big bouncy castle, right? And they inflate the bouncy castle around the capsule, right? To keep positive pressure to prevent foreign object debris. Get a tracked APC. I've told you guys, if I'm gonna buy something like that, it's gonna be an M113. That thing would actually be useful. The tank is useless. It's not useless, but the M113 would have more application. And M113s are cheaper, and they made a ton more of them than they did Stewart's. Hey, Tiger Fang, what's up, man? 30-month resub. S10 Blazer would probably be fun. Those are, Loopy, it's a decent enough car. GM in the GM stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s into the 90s is very, 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 very high quality for what it is. You got quality parts. They're quality parts and they last. And parts are inexpensive. Once upon a time, with the auto manufacturer, it was about making a better car. Now it's about making a cheaper car, which is stupid, but whatever. The M113s were the shuttle pad emergency egress vehicle. Yep, those things. It's basically an armored box with tank treads. It's like a pickup truck tank, basically. They're amphibious. They can go in the water. Yeah, they float, which is really cool. But then how would you blow up your enemies? Why blow them up? Just run them over. Cheaper. Don't have to waste ammunition. M113 with an electric conversion. It's possible, Winter Scythe. I would want diesel electric, though. That would be a better application. Did you hear that an unopened copy of Super Mario 64 sold for $1.5 million? Like your mother, Trebek. EJ, future Killdozer copycat. I don't own a muffler shop, Dan. Yeah, Cluties. Everything nowadays is built to be cheap. Because that's the way that the automotive manufacturers keep the costs down so we can actually afford the damn things. They're simple. They're as simple as you can make a complicated thing, right? So cars nowadays work like an expendable rocket, okay? They work like an expendable rocket. Just because a rocket is expendable doesn't mean it was badly engineered. Like Atlas V, for instance. Atlas V is a great rocket. But, once again, you throw it in the ocean. It's not meant to last very long. Alright? Older cars are built more like Falcon 9, right? They're built like Falcon 9. They're designed to last. You need to build better components if you want it to last. Why is Falcon 9 designed to last more than Atlas V? It comes back and lands. Simple as that. However, Falcon 9 is going to need maintenance. Atlas V doesn't need maintenance. You just launch it once. And this is what I mean about, the car companies assembling cars based off of our buying habits. It's something called throwaway culture. Why fix it? You just go buy another one. That mentality somehow got roped into making automobiles at some point in the line. I don't know why, but it did. I don't need this car anymore. It's going to cost too much money to fix it. Too much money to fix it. I could just go buy another one. Comparatively to older cars, which were simpler. They were simpler. They didn't do as much. Cars nowadays comes with all these dang sensors. They come with all these sensors, all these computers, all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing. Once again, that's not a bad thing. I don't mind that. It's just more stuff that can break. And if you have a car that does more, right, you're going to have to skimp on quality in other places because you have to keep the prices down somehow. Older cars are very simple. They're very simple. They're easy to work on. Because, right, they don't do much. Like, they don't have a GPS in it. They don't have electronic, emissions control and all this other stuff. And some even older cars, they don't have ABS. ABS makes the system more complicated. Anti-lock brakes, right? It makes the systems more complicated. So, the older cars, because they're simpler. They are physically simpler cars. They're easy to work on. You can build one in your garage. The quality on those older components is a lot higher. Because at the time, the way to keep the costs low, and Chevy did this, and this is why there's so many Chevy fans out there. I know this as a Ford fan, all right? Like, even as a Ford fan, I understand this. The way Chevy manufactured parts is they manufactured parts really, really frigging high quality. They made really high quality stuff. Everything on a Chevy was really nice. And that's where they put their money into. And they flooded the market with high quality parts, and that kept the cost low for the consumer, right? It keeps the cost low for the consumer, and then they come back and they keep buying Chevys. Why do you think Chevy brand loyalty is so high? Because they did that for the longest time. And that's a good way to do business. That's how it used to be. Make a better car than the other guy. Doesn't seem to do that much anymore, but whatever. Tesla's the only one that believes in that. No, it's changing. It's getting back to that, but it's just with electric cars this time around, which is not bad. I guess it's fine. I did see Rich's video yesterday, Loopy. That's what I mean. $16,000. Loopy, think about this from a rocket science point of view. That plastic fitting. You have all this battery stuff. Tesla does all these things. That goddamn plastic bleeder fitting? Are you kidding me? That will null and void the entire battery. That's what I mean. Even Tesla, to an extent. You're going to pack the car full of all this stuff that makes it more complicated. You got to skimp on quality to keep the cost down. Expendable rocket versus reusable rocket. That's right, Loopy. Yeah, that's new cars in a nutshell, dude. It's not just Tesla. I mean, Tesla is better than most. I mean, but Tesla is not impervious to it. Every car is like that. Every new car is like that, Loopy. That's why you hear the old crowd and you hear guys like me saying this new stuff is stupid. It's stupid. That's because of stuff like that. Ford does that. Chevy does that. Mercedes, BMW, they're all notorious for it. They pack the car full of stuff and it does all that stuff, but if something breaks, throw it away, buy another one. I'm going to start a low-cost car company that makes single-use cars. Single-use, yeah, right. Yeah, I saw the video, Bandit. That's cool. I haven't watched it. I saw you link it, though. That's pretty neat. I mean, Tesla, even with their one-piece cast front and rear sub-assemblies, throw away. If you're driving around one of those newer Model 3s, and once again, this isn't a demerit towards Tesla. They're trying to make the price go down, right? They're trying to make electronic vehicles affordable, which is very consistent with what Elon Musk has said, right? Got to keep the price down. So they're using one-piece cast front and rear sub-assemblies for the front suspension and rear suspension, and the battery is going to serve as a bridge between these two components, right? But they're cast. They are cast aluminum. If you get into an accident and you crack the casting on that sub-assembly, car's totaled. Car's totaled. Throw it away. Buy another one. Watch. I'd be very surprised if it didn't work like that. And once again, that's just how the thing's going. It's not a mark against Tesla. Everybody does that. Speaking of Tesla, it looks like Giga Tesla will be operational before Giga Germany because of bureaucracy. Sevi, you're telling me that something in Europe wants to be over-regulated compared to something in Texas? I mean, okay, that sounds right. It's a car they put in electric powertrain, which means it still be serviced like a car. I mean, yeah, that's better. It's a step in the right direction. Yeah, gimmick is cheaper to manufacture than a reliable car. It sells better. Yep. I will stick to my old cars, thank you very much. Yeah, this is why I like older stuff. It's quality made. My Chrysler, the Coronet, it has the original engine in it. That engine is almost double as old as me. All right, well, I'm 33. It's a third older than me. It's not as old, not double, but it's a 318, so it's a 5.2 liter. What's the motor? 53 years old at this point, so it's 20 years older than me, right? I'm 1988. I got 1988 hardware up here, which is okay. The components on that thing still work. The alternator's 53 years old, still works. Power steering pump works as good as the day it came from the factory. Steering that car is real easy. Steer it down the road, real nice. Power steering pump still works. The power steering box still works. It doesn't leak. Once again, car's 53 years old. 53 years old. These components were built to last. It has all the original electronics in it. They all still work. The windshield wipers still work. The headlights still work. I haven't touched any of that stuff. It still works. Why would I mess with it? All the switches, everything works. The radio still works. The AM radio. There's no FM. It's an AM radio. Still works. That's what I mean. They're simpler, but they were built, they didn't skip on quality. They were built to last. I mean, the voltage regulator, the ballast resistors, they're 5 decades old. They still drive. It still works. I'm from Berlin. In today's news about Tesla Berlin, the fact that Tesla will not be able to roll off the first electric cars in its first European factory as soon as it hoped to is due to amendments and protests from residents and environmentalists, but also due to bureaucracy. To date, there's still no final environmental approval for the plant, which is also due to the fact that Tesla had expanded the project to include plans for battery production. It's going by the tape lines that were placed on one of the nose cones and one of the nose cone barrels. It looks like SpaceX will be going with a shuttle-type payload bay. I want to see it, Thomas. Let me link that up. Want to join in on a car company that goes back to building cars that way? You can't, Lulin. You can't build cars like that anymore. I'm serious. You can't build cars like that anymore because of overregulation. People hate me when I talk about this. There's overregulation. You have to build the... It's like Formula One, where everybody's car looks kind of similar. You don't see any 6-wheeled cars driving around in, at freaking Silverstone nowadays, unless it's a classic. You don't see cars with fans. You don't see cars with crazy wings and big tires and all this other stuff. We regulated ourselves into a damn corner. You notice how every car looks exactly the same nowadays? Every car looks like a damn shoe. The Mach-E looks like a Honda CR-V. They look exactly the same. It's the same shape. Only one has Mustang lights on it, and the other one has a Ford logo. It's all the same. I routinely get 60-plus-year-old tractors on trade-in. 2 biggest issues are worn-out brake drum and worn-out clutch. Components don't last forever, God, but yeah, that's crazy. So who do I need to yell at to fix? My shoes look like cars. We have the best fans. I mean... Sounds like an older generation perspective. Forlorn, if me wanting the thing that I buy to be reliable and quality built is an older generation perspective, then call me freaking old, okay? I want the thing that I buy to last. I want to get the best bang for my damn buck. And Forlorn, cars are overregulated. They absolutely are. And it's hilarious to me. That's the whole backup camera thing, but I won't get into it. I mean, yeah, great. You have all this stuff. This car does all these things. It lasts 10 years and then everything breaks. No, thank you. No, thanks. I'll take my old cars. And some of those regulations are safety regulations, like airbags. Airbags are mandatory on a car. On every production car. The government won't give you a manufacturer's license to make cars in the U.S. if you don't have airbags. Not possible. You have to have airbags. You have to have backup cameras. The A, B, and C pillars have to be a certain thickness to survive a rollover. The car has to have crumple zones. It has to have this. It has to have that. It has to have all this stuff. Right? It's not... It has to have everything in the name of safety. And don't get me wrong. That's fine. I get it. The older cars are not as safe. And it's not that they're not as safe for everybody around me either. It's not safe for me. But that's all right. I'll take it. I'll take the quality. To be honest with you, I'll take that. That's fine. Don't get me wrong. If I'm driving the Coronet around and God forbid I get into a head-on collision, that's going to end poorly for me, not the other guy. Yeah, Zonic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So, like, Lulin, I would love to start a business like this nowadays. But we'd end up engineering a car that looks like everybody else's. I take a car that breaks in 10 years that is safer than the older cars. That's more quality, even though I think 10 years is a big exaggeration. 5 years for new cars, Brian. Regulation is only part of it. There's no reason to engineer a car that lasts longer than the majority of consumers will keep it. That's true. Yep, absolutely. Regulatory impact on engineering has more to do with how you design the engine and body structure. Someone took the lines from the pieces and overlaid them on the Starship. Okay. We'll check that. We'll flip back over into space news here in a second. Oh, it's not safe. Glances his motorcycle. I don't need somebody to... I don't want... And don't get me wrong, it's not... It doesn't need to be this way. Like, it doesn't... I'm not saying that everyone has to do this, all right? I personally like to pay attention when I drive on the road. I like to pay attention. I like to understand the vehicle. I like to know what I'm getting involved in here. And I don't need the safety systems to be a good driver. But that seems to be how we make things. Collision assists and stuff. Lane assists. What? Can people not be bothered with driving in their lane over time? Like, what's going on here? I don't need any of that. I don't want any of that. I want to drive the car better. And if you drive the car better, you're going to be safe. Obviously not, or else those things wouldn't exist. What's more important is a brand that came up with such a car would go bankrupt. Yeah, Angry Sec. Yeah, you're not wrong. You ain't wrong, dude. TG Mets fan. What's Thomas saying? It appears that work has started for SpaceX's mobile service tower at 39A. Will look like this when it's done and be used to vertically integrate sensitive payloads on Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. Oh, that's cool. Oh, from the image. Okay, cool. I want the other drivers to have those assists to protect them from me. I mean, the other thing to take into account is that, you know, highways have capacity. They have a maximum theoretical flow rate. And in a lot of cities, the maximum flow rate of a highway has been exceeded. And that's what causes traffic. And too many people on a road causes more accidents. It's a statistical correlation. If more people drive on the road, you're going to have more accidents, right? So it's not just the cars, and it's not just people not paying attention. It's just too many people. You're putting roads at capacity like that and exceeding the maximum theoretical flow rate or the mass flow rate of a road, because traffic patterns work like hydraulic fluid, because cars are incompressible. I mean, well, crumple zones, I mean, they are in that regard, but, you know, it works like hydraulic fluid. So every highway that's a certain amount of lanes has a maximum flow rate. So you have to... I mean, a lot of that is just there's too many people, or an antiquated system. You know, so it's not just cars. We need less people. Have you tried less people? What's the speed limit on the highways over there? It varies by state, Geeson. It varies by state.
Discovery.
55 was the nationally mandated speed limit in 1975, I think, or something, or 74. Because of the fuel crisis, they said 55, and yeah, that's been slowly going away. I mean, you get out on the big highway near my house, right? People are going 80, 90 miles an hour down there, no problem. As long as you're going with the traffic, it's fine. Yeah, go on. Hey, Boo, 7-month resub. Thank you. I'd say around 70, 75 is like average speed, what you'd see on a highway. Yeah. The speed limit is 65, but there's a saying in the States, you know, 9 you're fine, 10 you're mine. So, yeah, generally it's a nominal window. 65 is a nominal limit. Don't go too fast or too slow. Seriously, though, obey traffic laws. Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot on the road. Don't give people excuses to make more regulations for the auto industry, man. That's about how fast you guys go. Yep, if you're going with the flow, you're fine. Seriously, like, that's the rule of thumb. The cops will only go after you if you're doing something dumb, or if you're going too slow, because yeah, you're impeding traffic flow. In the UAE, people won't pull you over if you're going 19 kilometers an hour over the speed limit, but the moment you hit 20, you're done. Yeah, yeah. It's about the same, Shady, yeah. Booster 3 testing is done for the day. Mm-hmm. My opinion on car safety features is it's better to regulate it in case you get an idiot driving a car that can cause injury to yourself. You don't need to use the backup camera or whatever if you don't want to. Well, if I don't want to use a backup camera, Brian, why do I need it? I don't want a backup camera. I think a backup camera is stupid. I don't want to look forward when the car is going backwards. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why are other people drive? Why do I have to be punished because other people drive like crap? How is that punishment? Because cars are more expensive. You look forward to look back in the wing mirrors anyway. Do you guys know how to drive a car? Are you guys looking in your mirrors when you back up? What are you, nuts? Okay, alright. Nope, nope, nope. I'm axing that conversation. No. Alright, let's go look at Starship. Reverse parking. Get... Do you not, Traveneer? If I'm going to back the car up, I check my mirrors to see if there's anything behind, and then I look behind me and put my hand on the passenger seat. Into reverse, hand on the passenger seat, and look back. I check mirrors first, but I don't use the mirrors to drive backwards. That's ridiculous. Do Lambos have backup cameras? Every car that's made in the United States, Checker, needs a backup camera. It has to. You have to. Factory, it's government mandated. Try looking back through a semi. It doesn't work. Use your mirrors. Yeah, we're not talking about semis, dude. We're talking about cars. Yeah, no shit. No shit you have to use your mirrors in the semi-truck. There's a fucking trailer behind you. I get it. Like... Hell are you guys doing when you drive? Seriously, no wonder they regulate this stuff. No wonder people get into freaking accidents. You're freaking looking forward when your car's going backwards. Are you crazy? Okay. All right, let's see what we got. So Timmy posted this the other day. Another reminder, Starship is a system. It's not a single vehicle. There will be variants of Starship. Okay, so Timmy posted a picture of all the different variants. That's cool. All right, let's see. One will we see the Starship payload section, and then Vikranth Jonah. What are they saying here? Funny that you ask. Recently in NSF pictures, I noticed there was some kind of tape on NC-18. NC-18? Oh, nose cone 18, which looked like a payload bay door. Same was there on the nose cone barrel. I traced what it looked like on the Starship image, and it doesn't look like a chomper to use speculation, though. Huh. Weird reinforcement thing in the nose cone. Let me take a look. What do we got? Ah, interesting. Yeah, caveman. It just, yeah. Seems like there's a lot of people that have no idea what they're doing when they're driving cars nowadays, but there you go. This is leeward side. Interesting. Seems like a much smaller payload bay. I mean, yeah, I guess. That brace kind of reminds me of the crossbeam in the external tank on the shuttle. That right there, it looks to be down the bottom. So the brace here, the brace on the external tank is going through the center of the tank, and it's where the SRB is attached to. It's a bar that holds the SRBs together like that. What we're seeing there in that picture is something like this. Like that, right? It's one side, okay? Which is interesting. Huh. Unless that's a lunar cargo hatch variant. Why would you do that? That would honestly kind of bum you out if that was the payload bay. Guys, I've said this the entire time. That's the way to load payloads faster. The chomper is not going to make the chomper is going to make payloads harder to load. You should have done bay opening doors like the space shuttle from the beginning. Start of a cradle support for bringing satellites down from space. I don't know. Yeah, Sebi, I know. Doesn't that look a little small? I suppose it really depends on the variant that they're making, huh? You know, like... It's got to be 50 feet long. I mean, how tall is one of these starships? One of the starships is what? What is it, 50 meters? So, halfway point is right here, right? So that's 25 meters right there. So that's, what would you say, 10 meters, maybe? 10 meters on the length there? If it's 10 meters, I mean, that's 33 feet. Yeah, that's... That is a little small. That is a little bit on the small side. How many rings does it show? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, give or take. Yeah, Loopy, it's possible that they could be trying to make something that will be EELV or NSSL secure, but I'll ask you this. How tall is a stack of 60 Starlink satellites? Remember, everything but the top line is just speculation. Well, where else would you put the payload bay, and what else could that possibly be? As I'm kind of playing off the notion that you know, this is a payload bay door. I mean, like the length. Okay. Space shuttle was 18 meters long. Space shuttle is 15 by 45. 15 by 45 feet. The bottom line is just drawn arbitrarily. I'm pretty sure there's a methane tank bulkhead right here. I wouldn't call it arbitrary by any means. If this is a tanker variant, could that be a shielded docking orifice? Well, the tanker variants are going to butt end to end, Checkered. This could be for satellite maintenance or for debris recovery, or it could be just for launching Starlinks, man. see last? Oh, you remember Elon talking about a starship with a big telescope? Yeah? Starship with something like Sophia built into a payload bay like that? That'd be really cool. Can't bring Hubble back with that size. Why not? You could always, like, if this is the top of Starship, in like that, and then down. But yeah, you would need something the size of the payload bay, huh? The shuttle's payload bay. That's almost as big as the shuttle's payload bay. I'll tell you what that's the size of. That's the size of Venture Star's payload bay. Venture Star, the big SSTO, right? That's how big its payload bay was supposed to be. It's give or take about the right size. Can we get a shuttle bay versus this comparison? I could eyeball it if you want. Up here, rocket research pictures. I don't know. So this is about 9 meters.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
How do zombies serve their country in the Marine Corps? So we're playing off this that this is 9 meters, right? Right, that's 9 meters. So the shuttle's payload bay, so that's 4.5 meters. The shuttle's payload bay is 15 by 45, so 15 divided by 3.3, which means it's 4.5. 4.5, yeah, okay, so, it's about half, and then the shuttle was 45, the shuttle's payload bay is 45 feet long, so divide that by 3.3. 13, and so it's 13, all right. So the shuttle's payload bay is about that, so here, I'll just put it right up at the top here with it. Once again, this is just eyeballed, and if that's about 10 meter, right? 13 would probably be, oh, great, big line. 13 is probably around here. Here, I'll box it in to make it easier to see. And once again, that's just an approximation, but that gets the point across, I think. And then if you put like a Hubble in here, for instance, right? Hubble would look something like this. But no, it'd be a little bit longer than that. Hold shift to make a straight line. Oh, thanks. So like even the bigger ISS modules, like the solar panel trusses, would be somewhere around here. Once again, that's just an approximation. That's what the shuttle's payload bay would look like next to this. It's almost as big. Probably could accept it. Do we have a picture of Hubble inside of like the Hubble Space Telescope inside the shuttle's payload bay? Dimensions 13.2 by 4.2. Yeah, 43 by 14. So Hubble, okay, Hubble takes up the entire payload bay. Yep, alright. Wow. That is a big frigging satellite, man. Yeah, and the space shuttle flew with no airlock in that configuration. So Hubble would be all the way up here, like this. Yep. The worm! Still on it. It's still up there. Still has the worm on it, man. Yeah, there's your approximate. Right here, I'll just draw a little fun little shuttle. Right, like. Oh, I screwed up that line. Hey. Alright, or just don't draw the damn line, jeez. There you go. Not to scale. It looks like trash. Dang, you have that shape memorized. Yeah, well, I screwed up the other side, but yeah. I mean, look at that. The nose of the shuttle would be up here somewhere, and the tail of the shuttle would be right there. Because Starship is about the size of the damn external tank. This is about the size of the Orange GT on the shuttle, which is nuts. Or about the size of an Energia core stage, which is even crazier to me. It's friggin' huge. Jan, can we get some KSP, please? No, I'm gonna log off. Yeah, I'm gonna log off. Yeah, I'll probably... You won't? I won't. You want to play this game? You want to play this game? You've been doing the same bid for 6 years.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Karma's 6-month gift subscription courtesy of Iceman. There you go.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Eagle gifted a sub to King. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. You gifting subs to get me to not leave? It was a joke. Was it though, Klein? Was it though? Be honest. Was it? Hey, Shikama, how are you? There's no tomorrow off, Loopy. I'm on vacation again on Friday and Saturday. There's going to be no Friday and Saturday stream this week. I got roped into another vacation. Twas indeed a joke. All right.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Who approved the paperwork of this vacation? Bremo did.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Thanks, Just Face. You guys don't... What are you guys doing? You don't even give subs to get me to stay. Jesus Christ. Geese would give out 13 there, and Just Face gave out 5. I had my finger on that stop button. Not gonna lie to you. I was about, you want to test me? Sure, alright, I don't care. Doesn't bother me.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Jesus Christ. Thanks, Theon, I appreciate it. Blackbird, I got the green light to order all the parts needed to get your 78 on the road. Ordering this week. Nice, dude. There you go.
Hey, babe.
Yeah?
Can I have some of your ice cream?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
What about your ice cream?
Oh, yours looks better.
Why does mine look... What? It's ice cream. How can you lose?
Okay, fine. I'll have mine.
You can have mine. I don't care.
You clearly do. Okay? I'll have my own. Mine has
Discovery,
more
go at
chocolate
throttle up.
anyway.
Hi, Heavy Metal Rain. How are you? How's your day going? I think I have, Luffy, I have, it's called, Big Dig. Yeah, it's called Big Dig. It's a local ice cream brand called Brigham's. And Big Dig is, it's called, named after the Big Dig. It's like, it's vanilla ice cream with, like, chunks of cookies and fudge and all this other, and caramel swirl in it. It's pretty good. She has plenty of ice cream, Loopy. Brimo has a tub of Fenway fudge. Yeah, Fenway fudge. It's like triple chocolate ice cream. So it's chocolate ice cream with like chunks of chocolate in it with fudge swirl. Like Moose Tracks. Yep. God with 1,000 bits. Thank you. Alright. So what you're saying is that she has taste. Sure. Let us know how the couch feels tomorrow. See your last. Nice. That doesn't look right. So I guess we're going to miss another deadline.